Hey everyone, welcome to Just Hangouts, the official podcast of Just Nerds, where we just hang and talk about interesting topics that, we like to discuss. I am Jonathan, today's host, and as always, is my co-host, the great one, the generous one, Blake.
I am neither of those things, but thank you very much.
Well,
I'm glad to be here.
I guess God will decide on that one. So, how you been, Blake?
So
How you been?
soon, God.
It's been well. First off, audience, it's been just a little bit since our last podcast. We
Hmm.
took just a tiny break for the holidays, and that's my first question, Blake. How were your holidays?
They
Christmas
were
and the New
nice.
Year's.
Well, Christmas was nice. It was a little different. I lost some family this year
Mm.
to get a little personal, but it was nice, to
Sorry
be
about
able
that,
to
sir.
finally settle. No, it's all good.
Mm.
Had a little chance to settle down with the family I do still have, and we just got around and celebrated and had a small gift exchange. And it was nice. I didn't get anything crazy. I got a lot of Nintendo eShop cards. I got two, so I
Well,
was able to get holding out on that money for some sales. Hoping that few games I missed out on can get back on sale and I'll be able to snatch those up. So yeah. As for my New Year's, pretty much the same thing. Just a very kind of subtle celebration where we just hung out, had a chance to just watch the ball drop, and then take a break, and it was nice. It's nice. So how about yours?
I'm pretty good, I think. Some family drama, but it didn't pop up during Christmas, which is
Hmm.
good. That was a nice surprise. I personally was on edge the entire time. I was just like, uh, whenever like two of the people fighting would get close, I'd be like, mm. Oh, it's okay. All right. Yeah. So Christmas was fine. For in terms of the presents that Santa gave me, I can't remember. I got Psych, the complete series on DVD,
Mm.
one of the best TV shows of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in terms of games, I can't remember. The one I got was Indivisible, which it wasn't
Oh.
a surprise because on Black Friday, uh, my mom was like, "Hey, if like I know there's sales, so if you find something, just let me know." And
Mm-hmm.
so when I bought Catherine full body, uh, like my mom got me Indivisible, but she's like, obviously, the wait for Christmas thing. So I knew I was getting it, but I got it. I finally got it, and I
Nice.
will I will play it at some point because yeah, looks very good.
I'm in the same boat. I will play it at some point. At
Hmm.
some point.
And then I also, yes, some other gifts, other gifts stuff like clothes and all that, and then I received the greatest power in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
My aunts gave me an infinity gauntlet, which is it's like a rubber glove,
Mm-hmm.
the material that it's like, but it does light up, and it was cool, and
I
it
thought
was
it was an
nice.
oven mitt the first time I saw it.
So did I actually. Like I was kind of like my first reaction was like, "Oh, cool," and then my second reaction was confusion, which I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to hide because I was like, "Is this an oven mitt?" Because it looks like one. Like I agree, it looks like one, but then when it lit up, I went, "Okay, no, it's not an oven mitt." Okay,
I mean, unless it is, and it just has
yeah, I
light
know.
up stuff in
I assume it is not, but it's cool.
it.
It's a cool, nice thing.
It
Uh,
is very cool. However, I am a little concerned that you have it. I mean, you got to use that power wisely,
and yes, it does snap people. It's really hard to do it, but I can snap.
man. The fact that you said you tried it is dangerous to me. Like you just
Oh
did it
yeah,
for fun. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, oh yeah. Uh, for New Year's, very simple. My family and I were tired, and so I think we almost. My dad stayed up. I mean, he tried to, but he fell asleep on the chair. And my mom and I were like, "Yo, we're going to bed."
Mm-hmm.
So I went to bed. I did hear the ball drop and the fireworks go off at 12, but I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to sleep. So yeah,
Mm.
nothing too crazy on that. But the holidays were nice. And yeah, that's all I can say about that. But
Yeah.
I'm glad your holidays were also nice, Blake. It's
Thank you.
good to hear.
Thank you. Yeah.
Uh, but with the holidays, you got a lot. Got a lot of more free time. I mean, some people do, some people don't. But
Yeah.
I know you got some more free time. I'm not saying you were super free, but you didn't have
Mm.
school for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But Blake, so with some of that extra time, what did you play and watch, man?
Not a whole lot,
You
believe it
failed
or
me.
not.
You failed me.
Okay. Well, hold on.
All right.
Let me explain myself. All right.
Okay.
Don't judge me yet.
All right.
So I did play a few things. I mostly am just trying to 100% a few games that I really really enjoy. Some of those games include Grease, which I want to get all the. I don't know what they're called, but I like these little circle things,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find them throughout the level. And I just want to get them because I really like that game. Probably one of my favorite games that I've played from this year, I guess. Which talk about later. But I'm also trying to 100% Arkham Asylum right now. Just want to get the platinum because apparently I missed it. Because I guess I don't know why, but so I have to go back to the PS3 and play that game. And it's fun. It's a little old and it's not as free flow as Arkham City or Arkham Knight in terms of combat, but it's still a fantastic game to where the point
Mm-hmm.
I literally cannot put it down when I start playing it. And with my Christmas money, my Christmas eShop money, I decided to buy an anticipated title called The Tourist on the Nintendo Switch. It's a little indie game by the guys who made, I think it's Fast Racing Neo or Fast Neo Racing, something like that.
All right.
They made like an F-Zero-esque game, and then they made this game, which is a much more like relaxed kind of adventure puzzle game. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. And the look of it looked a lot like what is it? Like a Lego game. And I was like, oh, that looks great. I'll play that. And I do love it so far. So far, it's absolutely fun. It's just you're kind of this random guy who shows up on an island, and you're going to all these shrines and activating them and getting these things and bringing them back to the main island. And it's fun. It's a great little puzzle game that I'm just you're just exploring, talking to people, doing some fun things, and it's great. I'm excited to keep going. So. But that's about it. Like I said in the last time, actually, I know I said in the last podcast that I beat Spider-Man for PS4, but as of right now, I actually platinumed it.
Ooh.
Yeah, wasn't too hard, pretty easy.
Yeah.
Thank the freaking Lord that I didn't have to do the stupid get like, what is it? Get like a 6 medals in a Taskmaster challenges. I hated those. I hated the Taskmaster challenges because they're so tight. Do it, like,
those are
perfect.
fun. Those are fun. I
They're
like them a lot.
see they're not bad, but
Yeah.
like they're just really hard to get the three, like the third rank. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? The highest rank, which
Yeah.
frustrates me. But
For
other
some,
than that,
it's for some of the hardest one, or I think I can't remember if it was for the base game or the DLC, but for some of the harder ones, my roommates and I would try to get the best score and try to get the most stars. Can't remember. Is it 3 stars at the most, or is it 6? Like you said?
the highest rank is 3, but you
Okay.
can get
Yeah.
but like the multiplier is times 6.
Okay. Well, we would try to get like the highest stars you can get to get like the trophy and get all the challenges done. And I'd be like, no, we got to go this way to this way to this way. You can't, and then you can't stop. You can't launch yourself. You have to do the zip this way, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a fun memory of Spider-Man PS4. But I'm glad you were able to platinum the game.
By the time I finished like the main campaign, I was at like 90%. So I was like, "Whoa, I did a lot. I might as well just go for gold and just finish it." So I did. I did everything. The last trophy I had to get was the Uncle Ben thing, was going to his grave. But what's funny, what I found, but this was the part that kind of made me sad a little bit, is that one thing I appreciate in games where there is like a post-game stuff that you can do either before or after, like side missions, like side quests and stuff like that. Like you have the option of before you beat the game, you can 100% the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of, I guess, common in open world games, right? Like if you beat the main game before you 100%, you get everything. There's usually like post main game dialogue, and Spider-Man for PS4 didn't really have that. And that was what I found that was interesting, is like when Spider-Man was still beating up Sable guys, they were still referencing like Silver Sable being a thing, even though she left like at like the end of the campaign. And it was like, oh, well, she's not really.
Isn't there the line that Silver Sable's like, yo, sorry, like I'm leaving, but I can't control like the comp or like the guys, you know?
Yeah, and see, that's not. I'm not saying it's bad that I'm fighting Sable guys. I'm saying it's weird that like they're like Spider-Man, knowingly, and uh, the Sable guys knowingly know that Sable is not there, and yet they're still talking like Sable's there, and
Okay.
it's like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Okay.
And it's like, and that's the thing. That's like the only thing I could think of. But it's like,
I
and then
don't.
there's
Yeah,
like,
I don't platinum mini games, so I don't know personally.
yeah, I mean like, because like there's only a few examples where that happens, and I appreciate it. Like I think Arkham Knight and Arkham City have stuff like that, where if you don't do certain things before you reach the end of the game, then like the dialogue changes around the world and around the city. But like when Spider-Man takes down a random like demon gang, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that demon gangs that are left, he's like, man, what's happening to the city? It's going crazy. I'm like, I just defeated everybody. I think the city's fine. We're just cleaning it up right now. So I wish he would have said something like, oh, cleanup crew or something, whatever, something Spider-Man-y. But I'm not Spider-Man, so. And it's like, because Arkham Knight actually has, a few of those side missions where like if you do things after you beat the main game, not only just dialogue but certain scenarios will change altogether. So I kind of that, and like I'm not sitting here telling you like, oh, Arkham Knight's like, that game's fantastic, no flaws whatsoever. But I appreciate when devs go out of their way to put in those little moments of like variability, I guess, where it's like I wanted to. That's why I was like, should I beat the whole thing? Should I 100% the game before I go to the end? Because I love it when a game does something different to kind of quote unquote reward you for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little rare that does happen. So I'm not going to sit here and say that that's something I'm holding against Spider-Man for PS4. I'm just saying it's kind of sad that like they didn't do that. I wish they did because it would have been cool, So
Yeah, makes sense.
but that's all. Why
Makes
do
sense.
why do we always talk about Spider-Man on this freaking?
Cause man, he's everywhere.
It really is. Can't wait for Spider-Verse. But as for what I've been playing, I'm pretty sure that's it. I haven't seen a whole lot of movies in terms of like what's been out. I haven't really been watching a whole lot on Disney Plus either.
Mm-hmm.
Just been kind of chucking away at my different games and getting all settled for a new quarter of school, and that's about it. So, but what have you been up to, sir?
All right. Well, I was looking at my past movies, and I've seen, I guess, well, I've seen everything in the movies, to be honest. But I think that was like before the holidays and all that. I'm sure I've talked about most of the ones I've seen. But most recent movie was The Little Women I saw. A very good movie. I've never read the book for Little Women, never seen any adaptation for Little Women. But I thought the trailer looked like at least from what it looked like, a more interesting take. Again, I don't know anything about Little Women, but it looked more fresh in terms of the way the movie looked like it was portraying it, and I wanted to see it. And surprisingly, I saw it, I think, the day after New Year's or 2 days after that weekend, and surprisingly, the theater was packed for Little Women.
Oh, good.
And it was very good. I very much enjoyed it. Some character things. I'm like, I don't like this character. I don't like what this character did. But I'm sure that's more of like the original story and when it came out and all that. But in terms of like the movie itself, I thought it was good. It kept me interested the entire time. For a 2-hour, 15-minute adaptation of Little Women, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. Very good.
Cool.
In terms of games, let's see. Not much more on RE6 because my streaming partner, was gone for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So I played some RE2 on hardcore for the first time. I think I talked about this last time on the podcast. But Claire. I finished Claire. That was great. I think halfway through, or like after the first session or two, I got a lot better at dodging better and just being more careful. And so now I'm at Leon's story, and I'm doing well. First off, I think because like I know where the stuff is more since I played Claire's, and I know where stuff is now better, and I'm more careful from the get go. So I think I played for 2.5 hours for my first session, and I'm almost done. I think with the getting like the clock tower pieces, which I think is like halfway through the game.
Mm.
I feel like that's the halfway point. I could be wrong, but I'm saying like I'm almost done with the RPD stuff already,
Mm.
so I'm feeling pretty good about that so far. Uh, for other things, not much. Mm, yeah, not much in terms of like other single player stuff. However, I've been every so often I get into a huge fighting game kick where I'm like, yo, I want to get into some more fighting games. Let's do it. That is going to be happening next year, with some Under Nights, some Guilty Gear. But recently, different factors have been pulling me into different games. So first was King of Fighters. That is mostly, well, a good portion because of Blake. Because,
Mm-hmm.
well, I think Blake and I haven't expressed our interest in King of Fighters for like a few years now, to be honest.
Have we? I wanted to try it based on what it looked like, but then, they dropped Terry, and I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta try this game. And I heard so many people talking about 98 being like, yo, that's a great game. And I'm like, okay,
I
well.
feel like we always like kind of mention it, King of Fighters seems interesting. I want to try that at one point. I feel like we've kind of thrown that around for a while.
Yeah, I can't say I've like been 100% familiar with the stuff. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like when I first, like if you said like randomly, like, yo, you ever heard of King of Fighters? I'd be like, I feel like I have. Like I'd kind of feel like that flip flop, but then they dropped Terry
Yeah,
Bogard
well, I
for
feel like
Smash, and that's when
I
I,
feel like I remember before Terry, like there have been times when you've said like, "Yo, I feel
yeah,
like I want to try out King of Fighters," and I've been like, "Yeah, I want to try it at some point too." But we just
yeah, because
never
yeah,
we never jumped until Terry came out, like you said. And
yeah, exactly. That's
my
when I
thing,
really started like looking into like
yeah,
what the game is, and I was like,
mhm.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
my
cool.
thing was like I've known about 13 for a little bit. I can't remember how long, like a year or two or maybe longer. But I was like, I want to try that one because that one looks really cool, and like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like the sprites and the combat, it looks cool. But I never jumped to it. When that game come out, like 2013, 2014. It's been a while.
2013.
It's yeah. So I was like,
My
I
assumption
forgot.
somewhere. My assumption is it would be poetic if it was 2013. But I can look
Maybe.
just to make sure. Let me look.
But so as I talk, Blake will look that up. But what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. King of Fighters. I forgot kind of that you could get digital games, and so I was like, even I want King of Fighters, it might be hard to get. But and I don't know. I feel like that would be a game. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a game you couldn't get on digital. I don't know.
You can. I looked.
No, I know you can, but there are some games
Oh yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
are you just can't get, and I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if that turned out you couldn't, but I was happy that you could.
Yeah.
So once Blake got 98, I thought, you know what, let me just jump. So I jumped into 98 as well in the Switch version, and I sucked the first time I played it, and also the first
Mm-hmm.
time against Blake. But I thought, you know what, this was cool. Let me try to get better. And so I played it a bit more, and I understood what I was doing more. And then there's a Steam sale for 98, 2002, and 13 for I think what 20, $30. And I thought that's a great deal, so I got all three games at once. And yeah, King Fighters is great. I don't think Blake and I are gonna argue on that one. Um, oh, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say honestly, if you're asking me, I think 98 is honestly probably one of the best fighting games I think I've ever played. Definitely in like top
Dang.
10 somewhere. Like it's good. Like I knew I was gonna have fun with it. I'm like, I'm not gonna regret buying this. I think it's gonna be great. I
Mm-hmm.
heard that you should get it somewhere else, not on the arcade thing that the Switch has, just because I've heard that they're like not they're good, but they're not like the best. And someone said like, yeah, you should get on like I don't know PlayStation or something. I'm like, okay, well, there's a PlayStation 2 port of Ultimate Match, so I got that,
Mm-hmm.
played it, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then I started fiddling around a little more with it. I'm like, oh, this game is really cool. And then I realized that there's a freaking custom color editor which lets you like customize not just like the character's appearance, like you can customize their shading, their clothing, their hair color, like all this crazy stuff, but you can also customize the way their special moves look. And I was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
shoot. this is one of the coolest fighting games I've ever played. Like, oh my god, I can make Andy Bogart have like freaking blue fire
Damn, that's
when
cool.
he does his kick. Yo, this is high. I can have my like ignite in blue flames when she does
Yo,
her
that is cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
super killing bees. Like, yeah, that's why I was like, because I went to the options and I was like, what kind of options? Like, what is this? What does this do? And I saw character options. I'm like, character options, and I clicked, and I opened it up. I'm like, and it displayed the character, the sprite, and then their palette, like a big old palette, and I'm like, what is this? And then I started like changing things. Like, oh my god, this is a color editor. Holy crap, that's amazing. And I was like, dude, that's so like I literally like stood out of my chair. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can customize the way they look, dude. That's so cool. And yeah, I was just like, dude, that's awesome. Like that, I've never played a fighting game where you could like make a custom palette. That's amazing. That's awesome. So I think you can do the same thing in 13. I know you can do it in 13 because it has a custom color section
Yeah, I've done
when you're
that.
selecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool, and I'm glad they're keeping that. But yeah, no, KOF, just the way it plays. I mean, the amount of characters and kind of the diversity there. Like, there's not really any clone characters, um, which is interesting, right? Because even Street Fighter's got like Ryu and Ken and Akuma, which you can argue are like all the same, even though they're not. They're different enough, but there's really no clone characters in King of Fighters, which I found really interesting. Like,
I
these
haven't played
characters
all of
all,
them, so I couldn't really say. But from what I played, I don't think so.
yeah, like there's all usually something pretty significantly different about the way each character plays, and I mean, there's some great characters in there. I mean, I fell in love with uh, Athena and CA Kensu just because of how absolutely dorky their relationship is. Like, Athena's a freaking pop star who wants to help people by beating them up, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, that's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And then CA is just like this big dork who chokes on his freaking meat dumplings every time you enter the stage with him. Like, dude, that's great. So yeah, absolutely fantastic characters, and then that's that's what really I think that was. And then I remember telling John like, "Yo, KOF 98 is probably like one of the best games ever made." So like, it's great. So
Damn.
and then I think that's what led you to buy 2002, which is also amazing. That game's really cool. It's like 98, but I think a little faster, a little more options.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Let's say 98's or 2002 is like 98, but a bit faster and a bit more like simplified in terms of like the meter and everything.
yeah, yeah.
Which is cool. Uh, yeah, I would agree with Blake. A lot of I don't. It's not intended, but a lot of great character in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of love. It's like I said, a lot of great character. That's the best way I can put it. I was going, yo, like 13's could be my favorite. And 13 is great. 13 is really fun in terms of like the sprites and everything. That, oh my god, it looks incredible. Freaking great. I would say so far though, from what I played, I think 2002 is probably my favorite at the moment.
Mm.
Just because in terms of like I'm thinking about like kind of like Third Strike, which I'll get into in a minute. They do like Third Strike versus like kind of like Alpha 3. There's a lot more. What I like in 2002 is that it feels kind of faster. Not super fast, but it feels a bit faster. But also has a lot of characters in that as well. Where 13 is great and arguably it's probably the best one. Hard to say. I haven't played too much, but it's lacking some characters, which is sad. But it's understandable. But I think between 98 and 13, 2002 is that great middle ground. I really like. In terms of the characters and the way the combat feels.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised 2002 so far is my favorite. One sec, I opened my Steam real quick. So I've played 98 for 2 hours. I played King of Fighters 13 for 6 hours and 2002 for 4 hours. So I've been trying to like split my time between all three of them because they are a bit different in each way in terms of how the characters are slightly different in each one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I haven't been put a lot of time into one. I'm trying to do all three, show some love for all three. But yeah, I'm really enjoying King of Fighters. It's great. I'm more of I think that's why I go toward the anime fighters because they're faster and I like the combos and the
Mm-hmm.
movement, the mobility. That's what I like in fighting games. So King of Fighters, that's why it was different, but that classic slower feel. But it is so good that I really still enjoyed it, despite not being what I'm used to for what I love in
Mm-hmm.
fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Like playing Street Fighter for the first time a few years ago, Street Fighter 4. I thought, it's okay. Like, I don't know. It's not the game. It's more me. Like, it's not my style, but it's cool. The King of Fighters
Oh,
opened that world for me, and it allowed me
yeah.
to be, I guess, like, okay, no, I can still play. I just had to play like really
Excuse me.
differently and get used to it. So
Mm-hmm.
it even won me over, which to be honest, I kind of knew it would in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But so King of Fighters is great. But then also I got Tekken 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I think mostly because I had like 1250 on my PSN left, and there's a sale,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the other games I didn't really care for.
Mm-hmm.
But was Tekken 7 was like 10 cents more than I had, and I thought, okay, well, I'll be paying like 10 cents for this game, like
Yeah.
with real money. So I got Tekken 7. We all hear it's great. Never played it except when I was a kid. One Tekken, I don't know what it was, and Blake and I played a little bit of Tekken 7.
Mm-hmm.
I had played maybe like 30, 40 minutes of it before I played it with Blake,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fun. What you think of Tekken 7, Blake?
Well, like I've never played a Tekken game. The
Mm-hmm.
only 3D fighter I've ever played is Soul Calibur.
Mm-hmm.
And that was long time ago until Soul Calibur 6.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as for Tekken, like I said, never played it, but I watching competitive Tekken is super cool because like you got people freaking dropping people through the floor, dropping people through walls,
Yeah.
you know, all that stuff, and then you got like freaking people kicking through walls and like juggling off of that. It's like it's nuts. I've always like appreciated the way Tekken looks, and I was like, man, I'm gonna do that stuff. And then I got in, and I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot harder to do than it looks. Like it looks so cool,
Mm-hmm.
but man, how do people do this stuff? Overall, I really 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 enjoyed Tekken. It's a really fun game that I would not mind trying. Um, like or like trying to get into rather like more
Mm-hmm.
so. Um, I especially like when like I was actually watching. I don't know how I found it, but I found the trailer for Leroy Smith,
Mm-hmm.
the newest one of the newer characters that dropped, and man, I don't know what it was about that character, but like I watched that, and I'm like, man, what is this feeling? I want to play Tekken now. Like I was like, I
uh-huh.
just wanted to buy the game specifically for him. Not even Akuma did that. Like the
Dang.
way that he looked in his
Mm-hmm.
song and everything, I was like, dude, Leroy looks like a cool character. Like maybe I'll buy Tekken just to play him because he looks like a
Mm-hmm.
great guy. And I was like, but then now I'm seeing all this Twitter feed about him being OP. But anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed Tekken. Some great characters there. Fantastic music. The stages are awesome. Like it's
Yep.
a really well made game. Um, really liked it. I don't own it, and the only reason I don't own it is because like I feel like when a fighting game gets into like its second or third season, I feel like it's too late for me to jump in because
Mm-hmm.
I fear that if I jump in now, they're going to announce something like Ultra Tekken 7. I'm like, frick, no. Like, you know what I mean? Street
Yeah.
Fighter scared me for that.
Yeah.
Now, does.
I got that was for me for a while too, to be honest. But the money thing, like I said, I had the
Yeah.
money there, and there's something else I wanted. But also, like Tekken's kind of different because like with Street Fighter 5, you feel like okay, like this game is like winding down. Like
Mm-hmm.
you feel the wind down for a lot of these games currently because
Yeah.
going into next gen, we're obviously gonna get new installments soon. For Tekken, for me, I don't feel that. I feel like it's still going strong. Where I don't think we'll get a new one for a while or like a new expansion for what I mean.
Yeah. 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 And
I,
and I'm
yeah, I
I'm
feel like
glad
it'll be
about
a
that.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad about that, but I don't know. I'm still like number one. We're at the end of season 3 for them, and that's great. But I'm like, are we getting a fourth? Like, I mean, I'm still willing to buy the game, but it's like I'm so late into the game that I feel like you know I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find people my skill level, and B devote enough time to it because I still got Dragon Ball that I'm still
I
trying to
mean,
get good
we
at, and I
suck.
still
Like
got
we're never gonna find people our skill level.
no, that's true. I don't know if anybody's that bad for me, but it's like I also have a thing where it's like I don't like to try to spread my time around too many fighting games because fighting games, if you want to be good at them, you have to like spread out, or you have to like devote a lot of time to one to be really good. And I still got Smash Brothers, I still got Dragon Ball, I still got Soul Calibur, I still have Power Rangers. Like I got 4 big fighting games that I'm still trying to like really like learn and understand and get better at. And I think adding a fifth in Tekken 7, it's like, ooh, do I want to do that? I don't know. I don't really feel that. And I feel the same way about like Street Fighter 5 and Samurai Showdown and pretty much any other fighting game out there. I don't like trying to spread myself too thin with these games. I like to try to sit and enjoy them because I know that like when I hop online, I'm gonna lose a lot, and it's like I don't want to find myself being like, "Yo, Tekken 7's trash. It sucks. It can't be good." It's like, but I know it's me not putting in the time, and but I know that I got Dragon Ball and stuff like that. So we'll see. I might end up grabbing it if I have an opportunity, but I mean I feel like I'm supporting Bandai Namco specifically with Soul Calibur, which is a franchise I'm more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But Tekken 7 was a lot of fun. I definitely think it's worth it if you don't have a fighting game.
I agree. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't. I think also like as we were playing more, we realized, oh wait, like the air juggling and some of the other stuff isn't as hard as like it is hard to like master it, obviously, but to like jump in and do stuff wasn't super hard. I thought, to be honest.
Yeah,
And
more
I think,
user friendly than I first
yeah,
anticipated.
and I think what maybe helped me ease into it, like feel like okay, like I can mess around and try to just see what happens. Is that like it did start in the arcade, so it feels like you are playing an arcade fighter. At least for me, like I I guess it's because I get the memory of playing Tekken like at the local pizza place just for a few minutes and just like oh okay let's play and see what works. And I kind of got that feeling with this. I'm like okay I can mess around just see what works, have some fun. And yeah I had some fun. Yeah characters are really fun and wacky. And the freaking Kuma, we had a good laugh with Kuma. It's freaking great with his fish.
I love Kuma. Not Akuma. Kuma, the bear.
Yeah, Kuma and Panda. That is the rivalry me and Blake have.
Yeah, rival
To
of
Kuma.
the gods. Yeah.
Yeah, but Tekken was really fun. So I am glad I picked it up. I will see. I don't think I'll ever get really good at Tekken, but I think I want to get to a level where I know what I'm doing and just yeah see what happens from there. It's fun. It is fun.
I realized that like I have a habit of playing like the more adorable weird characters. I play Kirby in Smash Brothers. I play Athena in KOF, and then I played one of the first characters I tried because I was like I heard she was really annoying is Lucky Chloe, and I was like, yo, do I like Lucky Chloe? I like Lucky Chloe.
That did happen. I was like, well.
I do also play Makoto in, but she doesn't really count. I feel like the cute character is probably Star Platinum, right? Or not Star Platinum, just Platinum the Trinity.
In what? Oh.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue.
Blaze Blue.
Well, when you said Makoto, I was like, there's a bunch of Makotos in every fighting game.
No, we're talking Makoto in Blaze Blue. But I don't.
Okay, yeah.
Does she count as a cute character? I feel like it's more Platinum.
I mean, you said cute and wacky.
She's pretty cute, Yeah. So I don't know.
I think I have a habit of. That counts.
Yeah, I think I have a habit of playing the cute characters, or just Ryu. So
yeah, we talked about it this weekend. I tend to play more recently. I think like I've started to play like kind of the either cool, tough like girls or like Blake mentioned elegant girls, which I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. Like I was trying to, I had thought about it and thought of some examples, but I forgot them right now. But that's tend to what I go to, or just like super like fun, like kind of fun personalities for the guys. Like I was thinking about Ken. I think Chun-Li maybe was an example of like an elegant
tough
women character. Yeah, tough as well.
Tough like elegance. She has like both.
Yeah, but I was thinking of like Ken from Street Fighter. I was thinking of something for
Noelle.
KOF. For KOF, there's one character I really liked. That was a guy. Can't remember.
That was a guy.
Can't remember. There's one. I mean, I like
Are you
Ken.
talking in? Are you talking in 2002? Or are you talking in?
Oh, I like Shen. I think Shen maybe at the archetype. He's kind of tough,
Oh yeah.
but kind of cool. Like, yeah, I'm the coolest fighter ever. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like this guy's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but KOF, King, Leona. I like those two. So
Mm-hmm.
that fits in that archetype. Cool and tough. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for my archetype.
Yeah, trying different fighting games has definitely led us both to, I think, figuring out what we like in our
Mhm.
characters, not only just by functionality, but also like character wise, which I
Yeah.
think has been really interesting. Like I have a habit of either playing like the most villainous person in the roster, like Ganondorf, or I can play Akuma, or
Mm,
like the cutest adorable character.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
like I either lean towards like I'm super freaking evil, or I'm like adorable and you want to hug me. You know what I mean? So like I would probably if I did pick up Tekken 7, I'd probably try to main Lucky Chloe and probably Heihachi. So I was like
I don't know.
that's really
Evil,
funny.
evil man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
which I thought
actually,
so.
yeah. I was thinking.
What the frick?
Yeah, I played but the character I thought was cool was Asuka, and she's like a cool, tough, punchy girl.
Mhm.
And then the other character I liked was King because
He's a
he's
lion.
fun. Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, he's
He's
fun.
fun and kind of wacky.
Freaking Rage
So,
Art does so much damage.
well, kind of, it's on topic. I guess my question is, like, when you go into a new fighting game, because we've been doing that a bit more recently.
Mhm.
What pushes you to try out a character? Like, oh, this character looks interesting because, like, I guess, like, what do you look at for a new character? Go, oh, this looks interesting. I want to try him out.
That's a good question.
Because, like, for example, for me, like, when I tend to play a new fighting game, I look at the character's like design first.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like I really like this design, or I see, like, I guess for example, like for Blaze Blue, like Noelle, for me it was like the twin guns, and I saw her like throwing her guns around and being that person with it. I thought that was like a cool fighting style. I want to try out that character.
Mhm.
Whereas like yeah, like Tekken 7, I thought, oh shit, like Asuka, she looks cool. She's got some punchy gloves. She's looks like a cool tough girl. Yeah,
Mhm.
she looks cool. I'll try out them, and then if it's someone I like when I pick them up and I go, okay, I like how they play. If not, like I'll try to pick someone else that I think looks cool. So I go for like
Yeah.
how they look, and then if I like how they play, I'll stick with them.
It honestly kind of goes from fighting game to fighting game really. I don't always go like I start with like, well, step 1 is how do you find your character, you know? Like if it's Smash Brothers, I'm usually going to be all like, yo, let's see how,
Oh yeah, but
you know.
Smash is different though.
Oh no,
Like
no, but that's what I mean though. Like that's
for
but I'm
both
just
of
talking
us.
about, different case scenarios. Like if we're talking something like Blaze Blue, right?
Mhm.
Like Blaze Blue, I remember just kind of going through the roster, playing with you, losing a bunch, and being all like, man, I don't know. And then I remember seeing Bullet and being like, oh, Bullet looks cool. We'll try Bullet. And I liked Bullet, and I was like, okay, Bullet's pretty cool. What about the guy below him? And it's like Tager, and I was like, oh, Tager's really cool. I just kind of go through, and when I get a feel for like every single character on the roster, then I'm kind of like, who do I want to play? You know, because you and me are a little different, and I think we talked about this when we were playing Smash this weekend, where it's like, when it comes to you pick like kind of a handful of characters, and you're like, but out of these ones, I'm gonna find like the one that's me. You know what I mean? Like you play
Mhm.
a few characters in Blaze Blue, but Noelle is like the one you play
Yes.
the most. You know, when it comes to Smash Brothers, you play a handful of characters like Robin and whatnot, but you're like, yo, Palutena is my main.
Hmm.
Um, I would say the same can extend to like Street Fighter KOF. You know what I mean? Like you have your set of characters that you like, but you kind of narrow it down to like that one or two that you're like, these guys are the ones I'm gonna like sign my name on the dotted line for. Me, it's a little different where I'm like, if I put my mind to it, I could probably play whatever I want. Well, I mean, you can do the same thing, but it's like, who do I really want to play? You know, so it's like,
Isn't that kind of the same thing?
yeah, but it's like I don't really narrow it down. Like I'm still, I don't really pick mains. I just kind of
Mm.
play. Here's my handful of
Yeah,
characters that I like. You know,
that is
like
true. But I do remember in high school, like I feel like I wouldn't pick everybody like when we play Blaze Blue, but I feel like you would always pick like 3 or 4 characters in Blaze Blue,
Well, because I was stupid.
and only play them.
Yeah, because those are the only characters I truly understood. I feel like when I first started BlazBlue, I was like, yo, I don't understand any of this stuff. But now I'm a little older, have a little bit more fighting experience.
Okay, so now more experimentation.
Yeah, now I'm more of like, well, who do I like? Like, who do I like from a design point? Like you said, who do I like from a character standpoint? Who do I like from play wise? You know, those three things are kind of like the most important thing. Like, I have to like the way they look and sound. B, I have to like agree with their character. And
You
three,
agree
I
with
have
Heihachi? No,
huh?
sorry to interrupt. No, keep going.
Do I
I'm sorry
agree
for
with
interrupting.
Heihachi? No.
You agree with Heihachi? You agree with Heihachi?
Do I agree with Heihachi? Not really.
You agree
but
with
like,
his motives?
no, but like that's the interesting thing is like I think he's at least an interesting character. Like he's just kind of mean dad. It's like he's a mean super business guy. Like you know what I mean? It's the same reason I kind of like Geese Howard.
Okay,
Like,
so like who they are, you kind of
yeah,
not
I don't
like
have to like
you vibe
yeah,
with, like you vibe with. Okay.
I don't have to like yo, Heihachi should be like the king of the world. Like no, that's not really.
Heihachi, he knows what's up.
Yeah, no, it's more like like
Who you
I
vibe
like
with?
how
Like who do you vibe with? Like who they are?
yeah, like
Like
who
their
do
like
I
their
not
style,
necessarily like I'm saying, yo, this character should be like god of all. No, I'm just saying like, you know, characters that like have a strong character, like personality and something to make them stand out amongst. And I think Heihachi for specifically is like he's just like he's kind of like this just he's almost like a weird reserved cruel man. And I just think that's interesting, you know what I mean? Like he's not like super goofy. He's just like a billionaire who kind of got dealt like a really bad hand and became a bad guy. Like I think that's interesting, right? Whereas Kazuya is just like I'm gonna kill my dad because I hate my dad, and then Jin's kind of like, well now I have to kill my dad because I'm not that good a guy either, Dad. And
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
and then Heihachi's just like, man,
Which is weird.
I just want to rule the world, you know. So keeps things simple, and I like that. And Lucky Chloe, she's just a pop star trying to make it, you know.
She's Lucky Chloe.
So
And
same goes for like.
You had a third reason? I interrupted you.
Oh yeah, I have to be able to play them. Like I can't like if I like a certain character, like there have been characters in the past, and I'm like, I guarantee that if I pick this character up, I could probably do really well. But for some reason, like, or you know, vice versa, right? Like it's like I love this character's design, I love the way that they look and who they are, but I just cannot play them. Or other words, it's like I can play them really well, but I just don't like who they are. You know, I just don't really like their kind of like the way they sound or something like that. So it all kind of has to gel, and once I find that kind of nice medium, then I'm like awesome. You know? So
all right.
it's
So
always going to be.
It seems like it's kind of similar for both.
Yeah,
of us.
yeah.
All right, sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
So I mean, yeah, I think it's always going to be a different process game to game. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, like I guess my best example is like Piccolo, right? Like when I first picked up Piccolo in Dragon Ball, I was like, yo, I don't know how to play this character. I cannot play this character. But then I was like, but I love Piccolo so much as a character that I'm like, I need to learn how to play him. And now I feel like he's one of my best characters. It took some time, but I wanted to play Piccolo. So, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And cool. So, but for a third fighting game franchise, yes, people, I ran into a third. Which I did not see coming, people, because I like Street Fighter now. And Blake saw it firsthand.
This freaking guy.
Blake's taking a sip. He's taking his time.
I cannot.
Dramatic effect.
Okay, let me break this down, people. So, this was early. I think like either first few years. When did we start getting into like fighting games, like specifically more traditional fighting games outside of Smash Brothers?
Well, it started with Injustice, but that's because we like superheroes.
Yes.
But even then, I sucked at Injustice. But I think like second,
we all sucked at Injustice.
I think like around sophomore, junior year of high school. Because that's when I picked up Blaze Blue, and I was like, "Yo, Blake, you want to pick up that Blaze Blue?"
So
at least for me, that's what started.
Yeah.
The more fighting game interest.
So for me, at around, I don't know, like I want to say senior year, junior year, my brother takes me to GameStop and is like, "Yo, I got some credit towards a used game. You can what do you want?" I'm like, "All right, we'll take a look." found Ultra Street Fighter 4, and I was like, I like Street Fighter. I like fighting games. I didn't at the time, not really. I didn't know how to play them, but I liked them, right?
I like fighting games. I know you didn't, you idiot.
No, but it's like I did, but I was trash at them because I didn't understand like how to play them. Like I didn't know what a quarter circle was. I didn't know that.
I like the concept of a fighting game.
Yeah, I like the concept. Exactly. I like the concept of a fighting game. It sounds like fun, I've played Street Fighter in the arcades and stuff like that. I didn't.
I was like, did they have? Well, I was like, no, they did have that, but
Mm-hmm.
I never had that.
And I was like, you know what? Shoot, I'll buy this. It's $20. It's not too bad. Let's grab it. So I bought it. I came home, and I started playing it. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I'm not the best at it, and I was able to like recognize a few of the characters and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna buy this on sale fighting game, Street Fighter 2 HD Remix, or Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, whatever it's called. Because I was like, I heard Street Fighter, I don't know where, I think I started slowly getting into Street Fighter a little more, and I heard that Street Fighter 2 was like one of the most revolutionary fighting games ever. I was like, okay, let me take a look. So I bought it, and I played it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is fun, this is great. I started getting into Street Fighter a little bit. And so, fast forward a few years later, I'm experienced in Street Fighter, not like the most experienced, freaking been in the game since, no, I'm dipping my toes, I'm still in the kiddie pool, but I get it a little more. This freaking kid somehow, I don't know, how did you get Street Fighter 5?
How?
Why did you get Street Fighter 5?
Well, wait. Okay, wait. Maybe what, like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask why?
Now I'm trying to think why. Well, Street Fighter 5 looked. I mean, I like Street Fighter in terms of its characters. I mean, I think everybody agrees they're some of the most iconic fighting characters ever.
Mm-hmm.
But so I always liked them in terms of like their designs. I never really knew much about any of them, but Street Fighter 5 looked interesting, and it was like $20 at a Best Buy one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did know about the controversy of Street Fighter 5, how there's like content and everything, but this was like a little bit after, so there was more content, and it was $20, not 60. So I thought, okay, I'll pick it up and try it out.
It was around the time I believe the Guile and Akuma DLC were out, so I think it was like season 2 or season 1.
Probably
it was like a year or two or a couple. Like it was around the time when Arcade Edition.
Year. Yeah, it was like a year before Arcade Edition. It was.
Yeah. So it was like right in between like I think the first or second season, one of those.
Yeah.
But like so we start, and so I remember I came over to John's house one day, and we were just fiddling around with like Smash and a couple other fighting games, and he was like, well, what do you want to play? I'm like, you said you have Street Fighter 5, right? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I don't know, I think it's kind of boring.
Quick question before you keep going.
Yeah.
Didn't we try out Street Fighter 4 before this?
Mm-hmm. We did try out Street Fighter 4 at some point, which I don't think you were having a fun time.
I didn't like it very much because
we recorded it. We you could actually find this video.
I forget when we did that.
It's on our second channel that doesn't do anything anymore. It's Just Nerds 2. You can find the video where me and John are playing Street Fighter 4, and I think we're trying to have a podcast at the same time. It didn't work out because when the whole time we're just like, how do you feel about this new Pixar? Oh, frick, you got me with the.
That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. But you can watch it too.
Yeah. So for context, Blake just said he had more experience, and for me, I was getting more like into BlazBlue at the time, and more like really, I think that was the only anime fighter at the time I was into.
Mm-hmm. Our fighting game pool was was significantly smaller.
Yeah, maybe Persona 4 Arena.
Oh, true. That's true.
But it, like I said, it was what I was looking for, like more mobility, more movement, and trying out combos and trying to do that. Even though I never did a really good combo in BlazBlue at the time, but
this freaking.
But then it was hard going back to like Injustice and like MK9 because. Like the movement, you do like just a little, not a dash. What do you call that? Just like a little boost forward, like an MK and Injustice, and like a Street Fighter 2. What do you call like when you? Yeah, well, yeah, it is a dash. It's not a run. That's what it is.
That's what characters in like Arc System games do. They run. When you double tap forward, you run.
I like the run, but then like Injustice, I'm like I can't do anything. Like I can only move forward slowly. I can only slightly dash, and if I try to jump, like will uppercut me and. I can't dash because he'll like throw something at me. So I'm like, I can't do anything in these slow games. So like it was hard for me to go from like a fast game like Blaze Blue into something like MK9.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more context for what Blake's about to say. And yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like Street Fighter 4 that much when we played it.
Yeah. So I start playing. We start playing Street Fighter 5. We decided to boot up Street Fighter 5, and John's. We didn't have a lot of characters. The only DLC character we had at the time was Akuma. So we had all the roster of, I believe, Vanilla Street Fighter 5, which was like 6 characters.
Yes. I think it's more than that, isn't it?
Is it? It's a very short roster. I believe it's
very
Ryu,
short, but I think it was
Ryu,
more.
Ken, Nash. I don't think it's not 6. I'm sorry, it's not 6. It's like 12. I think it's 12.
I think it's like 12. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
around there.
So we boot up the roster, and so like I'm doing my basic Ryu stuff because I love Ryu. Ryu's one of my favorite characters. Doing like Hadokens, spacing, Shoryuken.
And I like Ken because Ken's cool.
Yeah, and he likes Ken. So like we were just playing a few matches, and like I don't know how long we got into it, but I'm sitting here like it's pretty fun. I know the game's kind of got a lack of content, but it's a fun game. It feels like fun.
We played for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, we played it for literally 30 minutes, and then John's like, "Dude, this game's boring," and I'm just kind of like, "Yeah, I guess it is." And so I was like, "Yeah, let's turn it off. It's pretty boring." Like
well,
I could
we were also
funny,
with a friend at the time.
Well, hold on.
We were with another friend at the time, Daniel, and he was bored also after like even before 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think and so I remember looking at John, and just seeing like this pure face of man, this sucks, and I was just like,
damn,
are we not having fun? So
Dang,
I was like, so I remember saying something like, yeah, let's switch games. This isn't that fun because I was like, let's just play something else. So we went back to like Smash 4 or something, but now. Freaking.
Hello, I am Jonathan.
Yes.
Hello.
So then, this weekend, the man comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, you want to play Third Strike?" I'm like, "What? When did you get Third Strike?" And he's like, "Oh, I bought the Street Fighter collection."
A little after Christmas, I forgot to mention this. A little after Christmas, GameStop is having a sale, which is buy 2 pre-owned games, get 2 free. Which I thought was a great deal. So I went to a few different GameStops because, in like the first, I went to 3. So in the first 2, I found like 1 or 2 games I wanted. I couldn't find like other 2. I wanted 4 games I really wanted. But then at the third GameStop, I bought like they had like shockingly they had Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, I think that's what that's called. The newest one for like 55, and I saw your face, Blake. It looks good. Everybody says it's really good. People say it's possibly Game of the Year. It's many people's Game of the Year. What are you talking about?
I heard that it's like pretty glitchy. That's what
I heard. I hear it's buggy, but everybody loves it, which I was surprised by. I thought it looked very mediocre, but everybody said it was great. So I picked that up. What was the second game I got? Shoot.
It's irrelevant. We're talking about Street Fighter. Okay.
Oh well. I picked up a second game that was like 40, I think. I can't remember on the top of my head. No, I got that. Oh yeah, I did get that for Christmas. I got that new for Christmas. There's another game that was like 40 that I wanted. I can't think of it, but I did want it. Mm-hmm. And then the 2 free games I got was Monster Hunter, which was like $20. And the fourth one was Street Fighter, the 30th anniversary collection, for also $20. So I paid like, no, the second one was like 30, or no, I don't know. I paid like $90 total, but I got four games for that, which is pretty good at that. Mm-hmm. And then I go up to Blake and go, yo, I want to play Third Strike. So keep on going, Blake. Adding more content.
So I'm like, why did you bought the I don't even own that thing because I'm just like. I'd rather buy Third Strike on itself, or I'd rather dive my feet a little more shallow, I suppose, because I already have Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 is winding down. I'm like, I'm gonna wait a little longer, see how things progress, see if things change, if we get SF6 or something like that. But this guy comes up to me, he's like, "Yo, you want to play Third Strike?" I'm like, "Why did you buy Third Strike on like Steam or something?" And he's like, "No, I have the collection." I'm like, "You bought the collection?" And I'm just like,
I wanted to try out Third Strike. That was mainly why I got it too.
yeah, but that's the thing. You bought, and then I saw the whole weekend. He's at my house, and I'm like, this man bought a $20 collection of like every single Street Fighter game for one of the games.
For me, Third Strike was worth $20. For me, it was worth $20.
I was like, oh my gosh, like what the heck, like the man doesn't even care about Street Fighter. Like he doesn't even like Street Fighter. I thought, like, and so
I'm interested. I was still interested in Street Fighter. I was like, I want to be into Street Fighter, but I'm just not.
And that's my thing.
I was like, I like the characters. Like I said, I like the characters.
The fact is, though, that's so funny to me. Where it's like, Street Fighter is not for me. But hey, you want to play Third Strike? Like, you want to play like all these Street Fighter games?
I was watching more Third Strike like Let's Plays and footage. I thought this does look fun. I want to try it.
Yeah. So he bought that, and we played a little bit of Third Strike. Third Strike was fun. Third Strike was very fun.
Alpha 3 was also very fun.
Alpha 3, yeah. I like Third Strike. I love the mechanics and the feel of Third Strike, but I'm still not huge on the roster. Because I do like a lot of those characters, but a lot of those characters are also not here anymore. And I don't know if they'll ever come back. I assume they'll come back in SF6 in some form. But like there's a lot of Street Fighter characters, so I mean, we'll see. But yeah. Oh yeah. And so like, I liked the parrying mechanics. I loved the way a lot of characters felt. Akuma felt great. Ryu felt great. Chun-Li was cool, but a little hard to use to some degree. But I know that she's like one of the best characters in the game. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a Chun player, so
yeah. But Third Strike is like the hardest one to play. So
yeah, I also really liked Sean. Sean was awesome. Sean was really fun. There's a lot of cool characters in that game, but I definitely missed like Zangief. I miss E Honda. I miss my friends. So
no, yeah, I would agree with that. Like I liked Makoto. I like Oro wasn't too bad. I forget, there's one or two others I really like too.
Dudley. You like Dudley?
Dudley's great. I love Dudley. But I would agree with that.
Yeah. And then Street Fighter Alpha 3 was a lot of fun too. It reminded me a lot of CVS. Oh, I'm sorry, not CVS. MVC, Marvel vs. Capcom. But I think that's just because the sprites were,
yeah, it's like the sprites,
if not the exact same, or very similar. So that's why I think I liked it so much, was because it looked, or kind of to some degree felt like Marvel vs. Capcom. But we played through a few of them. We even actually played a little bit of Super Street Fighter 2.
Oh, we did, yes.
And John was having some fun, I think. I don't know. You were kind of bored when we were playing it.
No, I was, but I was like, I mean, well, it's like, it's like I've said. I use the example of Blaze Blue. You have all 4 Blaze Blues. Yeah, I'll have fun with the first one, but there's the 4th one. Like, just play the 4th one.
I have a question. I feel like you cannot play, or you it's not that you can't, but like you have trouble playing and having fun with games before the 2000s. Like anything that looks like PS1, N64, Sega Genesis, anything that's like
I don't think that's true.
Is it? Well, like, do you have some games? Because like for me, I can go back and I'll be like, yeah.
I can't remember.
But like, I feel like if we play like Street Fighter 2, you're like, eh. We played Melee. We played Melee this weekend, and you were just
You also said it. Hey, even
it feels weird.
The other friend we're hanging out with was like, oh yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
I think specifically, it's like if there's a better version of this game, I'll be like, why aren't we playing the better version? I think because we're talking about like the fighting game specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, okay, well, yeah, Street Fighter 2 it's fun, but we could be playing Alpha 3 right now. So like,
see that's the mindset that I think is interesting. 3? See, that's an interesting mindset to me, because to me it's like
yeah, I could have fun with Injustice 1, but Injustice 2 looks so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, but Injustice 1 is still fun. Can we enjoy what we have?
I'm not saying it isn't.
No, I know. I'm just joking. But no, I think that's funny. But anyways, so yeah, and then at some point, we were sitting on the couch and we were just chilling, and then I think, was it me or was it you or Colton that suggested let's play Street Fighter 4? Whoever it was, someone was like, "Yo, let's play Street Fighter 4." I'm like, let's play Street Fighter 4.
I think you suggested it at first, like, yeah, we got Street Fighter 4, and it was either me or Colton that said.
Yeah, I think Colton said let's play Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, that's probably
him. Yeah, because I remember him being like, yeah.
I was like, I'm down, sure.
Yeah, so I busted out my PS3, brought it out in the front room, hooked it up, played some Street Fighter 4, And then by the end of the session, John looked at me. He's like, "Is this game on PS4?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
No, I didn't know it was on PS4. You told me that. You told me it was on PS4.
Yeah, that's what you asked me. Like,
no, I didn't. I didn't know it was on PS4.
No, you asked me. That's what I said.
No, you said, I forget what the conversation was, but I was like, this game's on PS4? Like, yeah, it's on PS4. I was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that's why I said. I told you. I was like, it's on PS4, and I think it was on like sale. And he's like, wow, this was really fun. I'm like, yeah, like, it's because Street Fighter 4 is actually fun, buddy.
Is this game fun?
Yeah.
Is this game fun? Like I said, I think playing King of Fighters and getting more used to the more slower games, I think that helped a lot.
I just think that's so funny though, how it's like.
I'm just saying King of Fighters, it's great, so that it pushed me to... That's probably what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's so good, it pushed me to other fighting games like it.
But
Street Fighter 4 was a lot of fun. Keep going.
Street Fighter 4, we did have a lot of fun. I don't know, John was just jumping into different characters. He played some Ken, he played a little bit of Sakura. He played a lot of Sakura, actually.
Sakura was fun.
You played Sakura, you played Ken, you played... Who else did you play? You played Chun-Li.
I always play Ken and Chun-Li.
Yeah, you played Makoto.
I always try him out. I played Makoto. Makoto was cool.
Yeah.
There's some other characters I played, just can't remember.
Yeah, and Street Fighter 4 has the privilege of being the only game I can actually play Zangief in. Every single.
I was like, where the heck is Karen? Where is Karen? Karen's gone. Where is she?
Street Fighter 5, buddy.
Ugh. The one saving grace. The one saving grace.
Anyways, but
I
just thought Karen, it was so funny how it took you. How it took you to play a game that but that's the thing. I've been trying to slowly somewhat convince you that Street Fighter is actually not as bad as you think it is. Street Fighter 5
Street Fighter 5. We were playing, that was the only one we were playing.
But Street Fighter 5, look, I'm not going to, okay, Street Fighter 5 has a lot of crap in it. 100%. A ton of stupid stuff in it. But I will still argue that the game is still relatively fun. It's not the worst thing ever made.
It's
not the worst thing Capcom ever made.
It's not. I'm sure if we had all the characters, I would have more fun with it. But
even I don't know if that's true. I feel like you'd still be getting pretty freaking bored.
Well, I said more fun. I don't think. I said more fun.
So 0 times 100 is still 0.
I mean, no, but
no, I get you.
Well, I mean, like, even in my own time, I've tried to pick up Street Fighter 5 again and try it out, and I don't know, something about that game, I just get bored. But then, Street Fighter 4, we were playing for
You're having a lot of freaking fun, yeah.
We're playing for over an hour, and I thought, yo, this game is good. I want to keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
Even the next day,
yeah, you woke up and you were like,
people were throwing out suggestions. I thought, I kind of want to play Street Fighter. Oh, Blake's PS4 is in the living room and he's sleeping, so I can't, or his PS3, so I can't play 4. But my PS4 is in the living room, so I can't play 3, or Alpha 3, or Third Strike. So, okay, I'll play something else.
But honestly, I thought that was just so freaking. And then
maybe you, Blake, if you had pushed Street Fighter 4 on me more, I would have liked it. But no, we kept playing 5.
We played it, and we recorded it.
We played it one time.
We did not record Street Fighter 5.
I don't know, man. I feel like playing Street Fighter 4 once. Isn't trying to slowly push me to Street Fighter. I feel like you're talking as if you were every so often, let's play some Street Fighter 3, let's play some Street Fighter 4, it was just Street Fighter 5. That's
or Blaze Blue as you prefer. Or Smash Brothers as you prefer.
That's supposed to get me into Street Fighter?
What am I supposed to tell you? No, let's play Street Fighter instead of one of your favorite fighting games.
Well, you were saying you were trying to get me into it, but
I was just simply suggesting.
I don't recall any of that.
Well, because I wasn't gonna force you to sit no, we're sitting down and we're playing Street Fighter and you're gonna like it. I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm just gonna simply suggest Street Fighter's fun.
You never suggested Street Fighter though.
As a fighting game that we could play?
From what I remember. Yeah, from what I remember.
Yeah, because we always went over to your house, and the only one you own is Street Fighter 5, and you don't like Street Fighter 5.
Maybe you could... Hey, how hard is it to bring a PS3? I have a PS3. How hard is it to bring a copy of Street Fighter 4?
I'm not gonna... Because I have before. I have.
Yeah, once.
No, multiple times I would bring it over. It would be in my backpack. And I'd be like, yo, I got Street Fighter 4, I got this game, and you're like, let's play Smash. I'm like, okay, let's play Smash. Or something else.
Maybe if you tried harder, Blake.
What if I did shove it in your face? Well, I bought Street Fighter 4 and I'm gonna burn your game collection, so we cannot play.
I think a simple hey, can we try Street Fighter 4? I think we should try playing it again.
Because we played it before and you didn't seem to have that much fun.
I think that's a gentle way to ask, and then I would probably go, okay, sure, why not?
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, but freaking last night, I'm just chilling. I'm about to finish Arkham Asylum in terms of completing the game 100%. I'm about to get like my last few Riddler trophies, and I get a text, and he's like, "Yo, so," and I'm like, "Let me freaking guess."
I was like, "Yo,
you bought Street Fighter 4." Yeah, I was like, "Yo, let me guess. You bought Street Fighter 4."
I did not.
And he's like, and then he texts me. He's like, "Should I get it for PS3 or PS4?" And I was like, "Well, let me look for you, buddy." And I was like, dude, it took, oh my God, when did we start playing? I need to look at when that video was uploaded. Mm-hmm. Let me look. It took how many freaking years from the first time you played it?
I'm saying, audience, from what you've heard from both of us, I think you can agree. Maybe if Blake tried a little harder. If he threw out some crumbs every so often.
I'm not going to freaking force you to play.
Blake looks this up. Right now,
3 years, John.
3 years? Huh.
3 years since we recorded that podcast.
Only 3? That's crazy.
And it's not that long, but 3 years ago is when us played Street Fighter 4, and then now you're like, oh, wow, Street Fighter's fun.
It was funny because I went after we played that night. I went, is Street Fighter 4 a fun game? And Blake's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is fun.
And I was like, huh. I was like, huh.
I even remember like sending you a clip of one of like the supers from Street Fighter 4, where it's like it's Ryu's Shin Shoryuken. I was like, dude, look at this. This is so cool.
No, I agree. That is cool.
Yeah, and then you were like, yeah, it's better than Street Fighter 5. And I'm like, yeah, it actually is better than Street Fighter 5. And he's like, so I just thought that was freaking funny. But
yeah, so right now I'm looking at PS4 version, PS3 version, or Steam version, which Steam version is the cheapest. I get it for like less than $10, I think. However, the PS3 version I could play with Blake, so it's between those two.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking,
but me and John have like a bajillion fighting games shared between each other right now.
Yeah. Well,
how many do we have? We have a lot.
I don't think we have that many.
We have quite a few.
We have Dragon Ball, Soul Calibur, Blaze Blue, and I think that's it.
Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry.
Power
well,
Rangers?
that's a constant in our life. Yeah,
Injustice 1.
These
games still count, John.
Oh okay. Well, I don't know. I guess we
don't go back. I go back to Injustice every now and then just to try it out, and it's still a great game. Injustice 2.
I did try it, but then I went, oh wait, yeah, they didn't really get the Sika formula until MKX, did they?
Yeah, MKX. Well, we share that game.
I don't have MKX.
Oh, you don't have MKX? Oh, you have MK11.
MKX.
I thought you did.
No, I wanted to wait until all the DLC came out, but then I just lost interest. Well, I have 11.
It's actually really good.
Well, I have 11 now, and I like 11 a lot.
No, you should get 11. You should get X. It's better. 11 is great. I will not deny. I'm not gonna sit here and say like MK11's
I don't know. I felt
like
the same
MK. Bro, I feel like you would genuinely like MKX. It's a lot faster. You can do a lot of crazy stuff in that game. MK11 is great, but
I really like the changes of mechanics that they did in 11. To be honest, in terms of like using the fatal blows, in terms of the enhanced moves and all that.
I don't mind fatal blows, but I do have to say that I don't like big boy comeback mechanics. I don't like comeback mechanics that take like freaking 30 to 40%. Like I just feel like that's bull.
I feel like it's more balanced because you can only use it once.
You can only use it once, like if it hits, but if you miss, you can use it again, and it's like
but like in other Mortal Kombat, you can use it multiple times if you get the meter for
your X Factor or your X-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
If you get the meter, you can use it. So I think that's what I like about it.
But the difference,
it's a one-time comeback mechanic, but it's only once. So I like that.
But more often than not, if you want to do like more damage, you're gonna use the meter on an MKX to do something else. Because using an X-ray, it does a lot of damage, but using meter in a combo is way more optimal.
Well, that's also what I like about MKX, that they separated the two. That fatal blow is by itself, but then there's a meter that recharges over time that you can use for enhanced moves.
Yeah, but you can combo.
I like the separation of those two. I thought that was really smart.
Yeah, I like that too. I'm not even. Again, I'm not saying MK11's a bad
No,
game.
yeah,
I
no,
really
no.
like MK11.
I'm saying that's why I like MK11. I think that's why I want to stick with it.
I'm
But
waiting to
I
see.
was really impressed by the changes in
Yeah,
MK11, and that's why I'm sticking with that one.
yeah. I'm waiting for MK Elevate, which is
That's
probably going to
terrible.
be the next. Hey, that's if they call it that, pay me, but they're not going to call it that.
No.
Elevated edition. I don't know because it's like 11. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
But no, I would be super. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but anyways, but yeah, I'm surprised it took you so long to get into.
So I might
To
get the. I'll
find
probably
to
get the
find.
PS3 version. I'll probably
Um,
get the PS3 version.
I would say either PS3 or Steam because there's a lot of players on Steam. Just regardless, like if you
Yeah,
care about
but
online,
I really don't,
okay, well then I guess you should get the PS3 version so you can play with me.
because I've talked about this before. Like fighting games, unless like it's Dragon Ball or like Smash, I'll play with it and I'll test out characters, and then like I don't put as much time into one fighter as Blake does. I'll find like a few combos I like with like a few characters I like, and I'll go, okay, cool. That I felt my investment for this fighting game was good. It's not like I'll never play it again. I will pick it up and play it. But I'm like, okay, I understand how this game works. I found some combos. Cool. I like this game. I'll play some more in the future. And then like I'll do the same with another one.
Mm-hmm.
But then like unless Blake has the game, I won't do much in terms of fighting, you know? Because I always get bodied online, and I'm not saying that's a problem, but it's like it's at the level where they're really really good and I can't do anything. So it's like I don't know.
No, I get you. I
Well,
get you.
I guess that's not the problem itself. That does happen, but I'll probably still play. But it's the life of fighting games online ends very quickly. That's the biggest thing.
Mm.
Because like I try to do some matches on Soul Calibur and I found like two people. Yeah, uh, online is hard to find when the game's been out for a while.
Well, yeah, and that's the part that sucks. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
that's the
finding
that's the
people your
biggest
skill
thing.
level is always going to be the biggest challenge in fighting games.
But yeah, just I think just yeah, but finding people in general is super hard. So unless Blake has the
Finding
game,
people?
yeah, like like I said, finding anyone in Soul Calibur was really hard to find.
Oh, that makes sense. From
That's
what I
yeah,
from what I
that's what I
understand, though,
said.
Soul Calibur's online is not super great. I think. So I mean, that's probably why. Because I mean,
No,
like Dragon Ball
but
still it has
like Dragon Ball, even after like 2 3 weeks, like I would say 3 weeks, that's when the online like dipped in terms of player base,
Mm-hmm.
and like there was enough where I kept playing, but like that's how fast. Like I think Blaze Blue Cross Tag, like I would get body in that game, but after like 2 weeks, I think the online in terms of player base just dipped hard, and I thought, okay, well, like I learned this game and I have fun with it, but I can't really do anything with it. And I'm like, okay,
Really? That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So that's how it is for me with fighting games. Like it's hard to find
Hmm.
people sometimes. So unless Blake has the game, or unless I have someone to fight with, which is Blake, because none of my other friends play fighting games, I kind of just go, okay, like I can't really play this game that much.
Hmm.
Cool. So
Get you.
that's why I'll probably get on the I'll get Ultra Street Fighter 4 on PS3 because I assume I'll get the most playtime out of it, even if we don't play all the time. I'll
Mm-hmm.
still get I'll still get more playtime if I get Steam. You know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was a lot of fighting games. Got a lot of fighting game talk here.
Yep. Get ready, homie. I'm coming in with my looks at phone, my Honda. I'm coming for you.
E Honda.
I'm coming for you.
You don't play E Honda. I play E
I
Honda.
I might. You don't know me.
I mean, okay. I'd be surprised if you played E Honda. Honestly,
You don't know me.
I don't.
So let's see.
I don't.
In terms of, I'm still doing. They're still on the watching and playing for me, which happens all the time. For both of us, to be honest. I've been playing a lot more Teppen. They had some like I don't want to say tournaments, but I guess it was where the higher you go in terms of this, like it's called the Grand Prix, where you face people, and the higher you go on the Grand Prix, at the end of the time limit, you or like the days, it's like from December whatever to it just ended a few days ago. You get better rewards, and so I was doing that. I got to, I don't know if I said it last time, I got to champion in terms of Teppen, which is the highest rank
Mm-hmm.
you can get. Of course, I think, I feel like it's the top 10,000 players in champion, around there. So I was trying to work my way up. The highest I got was around 4,000, but then I got knocked back to, I think, below 9,000. But I think I'm back to a little around the 6,000 mark. But Teppen's great. Try to enhance my Jill deck as much as possible. I had the most fun with the Jill deck. Super fun. I switched from the rocket launcher ability to the antibody activation ability, which is super cool. Where the rocket just does 10 pierce damage. Antibody gives a shield, which is important, but
Mm-hmm.
it gives like, I think, one more attack and like 2 or 3 more health for your unit, which is super useful
Hmm.
because it especially has like more utility. But also the rocket launcher, it's really good, but the way they balance it is it's a card that takes up meter,
Yeah.
which is it takes up 2 meter. Well, antibody is like free once you get the explorers out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, Teppen's a lot of fun. Akuma is coming out as of this recording tomorrow.
Mm.
Akuma's coming out January 7th. And also all the new packs, new cards. There's a new power they're adding, which is called Ascended, which is pretty much you drop a monster card or a unit onto another unit.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like say your Ryu card is about to die if it gets hit one more time. You have your Akuma card. It has Ascended on it.
Mm-hmm.
You throw it down. Ryu dies, but Akuma takes its place. But because you threw it on top of another card, Akuma has like boosted stats.
Mm.
So they're cards pretty much where they take the place of a card. That probably the best way you're going to use those cards is it's a card that's about to die, then you replace it, and now it has better stats. Um, it sounds really strong, especially some of the cards
Mm-hmm.
coming out. They have an Akuma card, um, his legendary Akuma card, and if you play it down as an ascended card, he turns into an Oni,
Mm.
and his card is really really good. I forget what the power is, but it's really really good. So that's the new mechanic they're adding, and some more other cards. Um, there's one card called like Ultra Karen or something like that, and her card is really good. I want to get it when it comes out.
Hmm.
But yeah, so new cards, new character, new mechanic. It'll be fun to see how it plays out, how that plays out.
Hmm.
There's one card I'm really afraid of, which is like the card is it costs 6 to play it, which is pretty high out of 10. So it costs 6 to play it, and it destroys a card. But if you have any copies of that card in your deck, it gets rid of it,
Hmm.
and which is terrifying for someone who plays an explore deck because you have like you have 3 of like the Carlos card because he explores a shield when you throw him out. So you have multiple explore cards. So if someone destroys my card, I have less chances to explore, which renders my deck useless. So we'll see how it will be a strong card, I think, but we'll see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Teppen's great. I'm excited. I want Blake to play some Teppen. He'll probably, I don't know. It's hard to say if he'll hate it or not, but it's fun. I think you might get a kick out of it.
As you were talking, I was looking at it on my phone, and I was like, "Should I get it?" I don't. My thing is, again, I think I've said this a few times. Every time you bring it up, like I just don't have the brain capacity for card building stuff. I'm so
It's not
bad
that
at
hard.
it. I
It's
don't
not
know.
that hard.
I'm really
Especially
like,
Teppen,
bro.
I don't think it's that
I'm
complex.
pretty freaking bad at this crap. Like I. It's not that I don't like cards and I don't like the genre. It's just like I'm just not very good at that stuff. Like I don't like how, I don't know.
You're a smart boy. You're a smart boy.
Really not. But
You're a smart boy.
that's why I play Dumbo characters for the most
Well, that's
part.
what you can play. Well, I play
In fighting games,
a,
rather.
I play a Jill deck, which is like I feel like the red decks are the most simple decks, which is just you want to get that damage out. Like Ryu decks are really easy, and that's one of the strongest decks in the game.
I mean,
Like,
I
I don't know.
guess I'll try
I don't
it,
know.
but
I don't think Blake's gonna be like, yo, I'm playing Teppen every day. I'm getting real good. I am dedicated to the Teppen cause.
No.
But I feel like if Blake plays it, he might go, yeah, this is cool. I'm having some fun with it, and you might drop in like a week or two. But I think in that week or two, you might go, I had some fun. I wasn't great, but it was interesting.
Have to see. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot, I guess. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I mean, I guess it's just a harmless download to try, so I guess I'll give it a shot at some point.
Again, I did the first time I played it like, oh, I forget when I got it, like a month ago. But in the first week I got it, I was already like B rank or A rank.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was surprised, like, oh, I picked it up pretty fast, and before I got to B rank, I was beating like almost everybody, and that was before I even got my really really good cards. I was
I
like,
mean,
oh,
I
right.
guess I can give it a shot, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Again, I don't think you'll be super dedicated to it, but I think it's something to try out. It's fun.
Mm.
What are you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. So I was just like, okay.
All right, so we are an hour and a half in, and we are going to our main topic of the podcast. One of our main topics, which is Blake. It's an end of an era, end of a saga, you might say. You know, it is the end of 2019, but that also means the end of the decade, Blake. Which I always thought the end of the decade was 2010 to 2020, but I guess I'm wrong. But I guess it makes sense because it's ones between everything. Now there's twos now. We got twos now, which makes more sense probably. It's been a lot of growth between I think everybody watching and listening, and between us both, especially because we're like 22 now, and 10 years ago we were 12. So yeah, a lot of growing, a lot of growing. But
it's been a long time.
A lot of things have happened this decade. Again, we were 12, so of course a lot of things have happened. But a lot of growth, personal growth, a lot of media also. And I thought, well, I told Blake we would reflect, and I'm gonna reflect. We'll see how much Blake's reflect. Blake warned me ahead of time. But Blake, you have anything to reflect on in 2020? Well, I guess again, I said Blake, you can talk about anything. Any media that came out in 2020?
You mean 2019?
Sorry, yeah. In the decade, sorry.
Oh, God. The decade?
Well, let's talk, 2019. Let's start small.
Yeah, give me small.
Sorry, let's start small with 2019. How's 2019?
2019, in terms of, I guess I'll start with my game list, some of the things that I played.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, not gonna lie and tell you that 2019 was honestly a catch-up year for me in terms of like me playing games. I played a lot of stuff to like kind of get caught up on that I missed. So a lot of the games I played and bought and finished were games that I missed in 2018 or even 2017. So like Spider-Man, Arkham and stuff like that. Like a lot of games that I just missed on my first initial thing that I've had sitting on my shelf. So 2019 was a catch-up year for me. But in terms of new releases that I played, I actually did get a chance to play because I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try out this Apple Arcade thing. Let's see how it goes. To briefly touch on that, it's pretty cool. Works out well. It's actually a lot smoother than it it runs well. I thought it was gonna be like them stuttering to get to work on my phone or anything like that, but they actually all work really well. And the handheld controls are pretty good, but I prefer to play with a DualShock, which Apple lets you do, so that's great.
Ooh.
But I decided to try out Sayonara Wild Hearts because I've heard some crazy things about it. That game's actually really cool. The music is fantastic. It's kind of like just a rail runner where you just run on. Like you're just going forward and you kind of have to just turn your direction. But the style and the music and the level design and the unique scenarios that they put you in, it's actually really good. Like it's really fun and it's very engaging. I was immediately captured by like the style of the game, so I think I just kind of wanted to mention that. Obviously, I played Grease. That game's awesome. That game's probably one of my top of 2019. And that's honestly it for like new releases that I played strictly in 2019. Everything else has been stuff that I'm just trying to get caught up on. Games that I own and so on and so forth. So that's mostly what it is. If not, 2019 will probably go down as the year of Smash Ultimate, where I just played a crap ton of Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would agree.
yeah, so that's pretty. That's like all I have for games in terms I played. I mean, for movies, here's the list of movies that I did see. I'm not going to review them, but I'm just going to lay them out. So, and I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of these too, obviously. So I saw. This is in no particular order. This isn't in any order. It's just movies that I saw. So I saw Joker. I saw John Wick 3. I saw Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Detective Pikachu, Shazam, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, Toy Story 4, Rise of the Skywalker, Glass, How to Train Your Dragon, Captain Marvel, and Tall Girl. So I saw a lot of stuff. Not everything, obviously. I missed out on like Parasite. I missed out on
Frozen 2?
2002.
No, Frozen 2?
Oh, Frozen 2. I thought you said 2000. I'm like 2002?
Frozen 2?
Yeah, I missed out on Frozen 2. Not really missing that. Don't really care.
But it's the highest grossing animated movie of all time, minus Lion King, 2019.
Who cares?
Oh.
I don't know. I never really cared.
I'm just joking. I thought it was okay. But go on.
But yeah, so that's about it. I mean, I saw a lot. Nothing like blew my mind, really. John Wick 3 was probably, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I think John Wick 3 was probably the best movie on this list.
Okay.
With Joker being like a close second. Loved Joker. Really enjoyed it. Not like an amazing film, but it had some great ideas, and I really, truly think it's DC's best movie, if that means anything. Or like DC's best movie in the recent decade, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of it. I mean, Detective Pikachu, I guess, is my number 3. That movie was, yeah. It was probably the most decent video game movie we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Had a lot of problems, but still the most decent. Everything else was like, either, solid enough, like Godzilla, or...
What about Endgame, though, Blake? Oh, I hit something. What about Endgame, though?
What about it?
Why isn't it number 1, number 2, and number 3?
I saw that movie 3 times, and every single time I was like, man, I just can't. There's something about it that like just holds me back, where I'm like, man, I don't love it. I like it. It was fun, but I don't know. Every single time I've watched it, and again, I saw it 3 times in the theaters, I was like,
Dang.
Every single time, I can't.
Even my parents loved it. They don't even like Marvel movies.
No, I know.
Crazy.
I'm aware that this movie is probably like the darling of 2019. Like everybody liked it, unless you're Martin Scorsese. But like, I just every single time I watch it, I'm just like, it's just not getting me. It just doesn't hit me. Like like it doesn't hit me as hard as like the first Avengers movie did, which like blew my childhood mind. But then, I don't know if I just grew up and I got cynical or something. Like, I don't know what happened, but I just, like, I just didn't feel anything with it. It's just like, oh, yeah, it's good. It's fun. I liked when everybody assembled and fought Thanos and beat up the mean purple guy. That was great.
But Captain America, the hammer.
That was great.
The hammer.
That was a fantastic moment. I will not tell you that.
Glad we agree.
No, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, but come on. Why did you... No, come on. That was amazing.
That was great.
That was cool. There was some cool... There was, again, like that's what I was saying. Like, Endgame had a lot of great stuff in it. But I still walked away feeling like, I just can't, But, I don't know. Like, out of the 3 Marvel movies that came out this year, Avengers Endgame is definitely the one I like the most. Because
For a second, I was like, what was the third? And then I thought, oh, wait, Spider-Man Far From Home came out this year.
Yeah. Not a fan, obviously. Like everybody else is for some reason. I don't get it, but okay.
I don't get it. Whatever.
I'm not. I don't know. And Captain Marvel, I can see the appeal of someone liking Captain Marvel, so at least puts it in second place. Like, I understand why people like that movie, but I don't. I just felt like Captain Marvel's just so... I just don't like her. She's, like... It's not Brie Larson. I don't like Brie Larson very much, but It's not
Wow.
her. It's just like,
It's not her. I don't like her
but I
either.
don't like Brie Larson. But like, but no. But like, it's more like I can appreciate that Brie Larson did a really good job as Captain Marvel. I don't think it's her. It's just like the way that movie flows just feels so like, what the heck? I don't know.
Yeah,
Just wasn't a
that's fair.
fan. But Spider-Man
I mean,
Far From Home was like
I think everybody agreed Captain Marvel was okay.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's somewhere from okay to like just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But Spider-Man Far From Home was like an active disappointment. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I remember being like, you know what? I'm not a huge Marvel guy anymore, or like the MCU guy. I love Marvel, but not MCU necessarily. But I'm in the mood for like a good Spider-Man movie. As soon as the movie was starting, and then as it was done, I was like, well,
then
that
it
was
wasn't.
not. Yeah,
It was not good.
it was Spider-Man Far From Good, baby.
Yeah.
And that's a movie that like I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't see it. Like I don't see like I see like bits and pieces of a good film,
Yeah.
but I see a horribly stringed narrative or strung narrative that just
They
I
have
don't.
no chemistry. They have no chemistry.
Everybody
Peter and
thinks
MJ.
yeah. No, I agree.
Everybody thinks they're adorable.
I think it's.
I had nothing.
Yeah, no. So that was me. I mean everything else on this, like, I mean, but if you want my most disappointing movie of 2019, that's probably Shazam.
Mm.
Like Shazam was like actually what's interesting is like Shazam had a lot of like similarities to Spider-Man in terms of like it promised me that it was going to do something cool and then it did something stupid. And Shazam I almost wanted to leave Shazam because I was like, dude, this movie sucks.
No, that I agree it wasn't good. Like I agree it wasn't good. My most disappointing movie is Spider-Man Far From Home, but that's because I love Spider-Man so much. I actually really love Homecoming as well. But yeah, Shazam. I was also really excited for Shazam because it looked really good, and I love Zachary Levi. Shazam's great as well as a character.
Yes, Zachary.
But
yeah.
No.
I think what's interesting is that I feel like 2019 is going to go down as a year of divisive movies for the most part. You know what I mean? Because like Shazam, there's a lot of critical love for that movie. It's like one of the like a lot. I've seen so many YouTube videos of people like, oh, it's the best DC movie ever. It's one of the greatest films. It's not even the best DC. It's the best superhero film. I'm like, whoa, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Far From Home. A lot of people love that. Toy Story 4. A lot of people love that. Rise of Skywalker.
Just because we don't like it though.
No. But like that's the thing is like I feel like there's like also a very like significant minority, albeit they're there, that also don't like a lot of these movies that I've named. Like Joker, a lot of people didn't like that, but a lot of people did.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
Huh? Yeah, so like there was, Glass, a lot of people
Oh, yeah, shoot. I forgot you said Glass, yeah.
Yeah.
What you think about Glass?
I'll be straight up. I don't have a personal attachment to Split or
Unbreakable.
Yeah, or Unbreakable. I always want to say like Unbeatable or something like that, but I know it's Unbreakable. I don't have a personal attachment. I've seen them. They're good.
Okay.
I guess. Although I didn't really care for Split that much. I thought Split was too weird. Glass was... I don't know. Like, that's the thing is it's not bad. It's just... It's the end of a cinematic universe that I guess existed. It was good. It had some cool moments, but I ultimately was just like, okay.
Yeah. Unbreakable is one of my mom's favorite movies, so I ended up watching it a lot. I do like Unbreakable. I've liked it more as I've gotten older. And I actually really liked Split. I thought that was a really fun movie. It's weird to say fun because the subject matter. But I thought it was fun, I guess. I can't think of a word, but I thought it was good. I really liked it. And then I was looking forward to Glass a lot because they brought back Bruce Willis. I thought that was cool. And they brought back Samuel Jackson. Okay, let's see how they ended off. And I didn't hate it as much as everybody else. It definitely has its faults, and the way it ends is like interesting. Like when the ending happened and a character died, I went,
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I know a lot of people when they saw that went, what the? I was like, that happened. Okay, sure. And I walked out going, yeah. Yeah, it was a weird movie,
Yeah,
but
it's
I didn't hate it as much as a lot of others did.
yeah. But like I said, like I just feel like I look at my list, and the only one that I think was consistently loved by pretty much everybody was like How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, that was
Because
good.
I like that movie, and I'm not even like a big How to Train Your Dragon fan. I was like, oh, that's a good ending. I was like, wow, that's great, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, like I feel like the rest of these are all maybe besides Endgame. Everybody loves Endgame too, but I feel like every one of these is like, oh, it was yeah, that
Yeah.
existed. Maybe John Wick
Oh,
3 too. Everybody liked John Wick. So maybe three
Dark
movies.
Phoenix came out as well. We didn't see that, but that came out this year as well.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Dark Phoenix.
Oh, Oh yeah. Oh, that was a movie, wasn't it?
Not divisive because everybody doesn't like it, but
Yeah, but it was an X-Men film.
yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I just I didn't really care for the so. But that's all I watched. I mean, that's my 2019 is like what recently came out was just like, oh, it's cool. But I guess I had more fun in 2019 going back and playing some of the stuff that everybody enjoyed. I mean, shoot, I wish I would have taken out a list of everything I beat, but like I beat quite a bit in 2019. I beat Kingdom Hearts 1, which was a game that I've been freaking wanting to beat ever since I was, back in freaking, I think, what, 2002? 2000, whenever it came out? It came out in 2002, and I think I owned it in like 2003. I've been trying to beat that game ever since I was a child. So to finally beat that as a man, like, what a journey I've been on. A few other things. I think I beat. I got more into Smash Brothers than I ever have, and I played a ton of characters. I beat quite a few games. Again, I wish I took down the list, but a lot of I'm actually impressed with how far I've kind of come within that. So 2019 was a catch up year for me in terms of getting all, playing games, reading stuff, beating stuff, things like that. And that's what I think I enjoyed most about it, is just going back to some of the games that I never got a chance to truly finish and finishing them. So, yeah, that's what I think 2019 will stick out to me most, is like looking back upon other stuff. So, but why don't you go on with your 2019 stuff? What did you play? What did you see? What'd you like?
So I have a list of. I can't list everything I watched for movies because I watched a movie like every week or two.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
I
probably
watched a lot of. I watched a
Correct.
lot of movies. I always watch a lot of movies. In terms of games, I couldn't. I thought I played more than I did, but I was trying to make. So I've made a list for my top 2019 games, my top 2019 movies, and then I've made a top games of the decade list, top movies of the decade list. So I'm gonna go through the 2019 lists real quick. I'm just gonna say like maybe quick thoughts on everything, just like quick, real brief.
Go for it.
And this is all out of order. Later for anyone listening, I'll be tweeting. Every year I like to do. I like to make my list because I think it's fun to go, okay, like let me think of the top 10 movies. Okay, now where did they list and why? And I always like to think of my reasoning for it. I always have fun making my end of the year lists. So I will be officially ranking them on Twitter probably after we record this because I'm late on it. I meant to do it like a little after New Year's, but it's not too late. But I'm probably do after we record this.
Okay.
So out of order for top 5 games of 2019 for me, Kingdom Hearts 3 first off, my most anticipated game of the year, probably the game I've been most excited about in a long time. Like I had my roommate, who played Kingdom Hearts when he was younger, but then I started playing, in I think end of high school or beginning of college, and so we bonded over that. And I think since like sophomore year when we were like it's coming out soon, every trailer we would go, yo, this looks really cool. Like I'm kind of like even my friend who was less invested in the story had not played a Kingdom Hearts game since Kingdom Hearts 2 was like, I really want to play Kingdom Hearts 3. He was more invested in what was going to happen. And it was pretty disappointing. It's interesting that I can say that now. There's a lot of things, there are a lot of great moments, like in the story itself, in the plot, there's a lot of great moments. There's a lot of great interactions between, this is my favorite version of Sora since Kingdom Hearts 2. There's a lot of great interactions between him and Donald and Goofy, and the other characters. The combat is fun to a certain point. It looks amazing. Um, the way they did the worlds is probably the best they've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't all mesh together. It the combat gets kind of stale after like halfway through, I would say. Um, that might be because it was really easy, but also like I don't know, Kingdom Hearts 2 is really easy too, and I still go back to that combat. I think it's great. The story really, it's not that it falls apart at the end because that is when it gets better. It's just like Kingdom Hearts 2, I've said, is the perfect blend of, I think, you do a few worlds and then you get a big story moment. Then you do a few worlds, a big story moment. So you always, like, the pacing of that game is great. And you always feel that I'm not just dicking around in Disney worlds. Like, you do that, but then you go, okay, well, I want to know what happens next. And the second you think that, you find out what happens next in the main story. That's what Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, in terms of its story and its pacing, is still the best. Kingdom Hearts 3 does none of that up until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of thought they would do that, but I was hoping it would be like Kingdom Hearts 2. And it
Where's
just
the
doesn't
power
do
of
that.
waking, John? Where is it?
Burton. Shut up. Wait a minute. Oh,
I-
wait. But yeah, so it just doesn't all come together. Of course, because I know I'm being not. I don't want to say ripped off, but I know I'm being an idiot. I'm going to play the Remind DLC because I still love Kingdom Hearts. It's just Kingdom Hearts 3 was disappointing, and that's the longest I'll be talking about a game in this list. Cause yeah, were you gonna say something, Blake?
No, I was just gonna say. I think it's so funny how everybody's echoing the same thing. Where it's like, yeah, Kingdom Hearts was too disappointing, but that DLC. I mean, hey, I'm still in it. Like, it's like I don't know. It's like it reminds me of Last Jedi to some degree, where people
It's
are
less
like,
of like, hey, I'm still in it. It's more like, you can't pull me back in. How are you doing this?
mm-hmm.
Stop.
Well, that's the same thing. It was like the Last Jedi thing. Where like, man, I'm done with Star Wars. I don't ever want to see a trailer for Rise of Skywalker. Yo, I'm so hyped. I'm a Star Wars fan again. I'm just like, oh my god, what the heck? Like the DLC does look pretty cool though, you know. So, yeah.
But yeah, that Kingdom Hearts 3, it's on the top 5 because mostly there wasn't really anything else I could think of that like I really liked that came out 2019. I didn't like again. Well, that's mostly because again I thought I played more 2019 games than I did. I think that's because I played those games a lot. That's mostly why.
Well, I imagine that certain things that I feel like I know your list a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a lot though.
Yeah. The next one is MK11.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it earlier. MK11 is great. I thought a lot of the changes they did was cool, and I like all the characters. It's fun. It made me remember why I like Mortal Kombat. It's a good game, good fighting game. Then there's DMC5. Again, just seeing the trailer for from E3 made me go, I want to play Devil May Cry 5. So I played the whole series before 5, and I would watch the trailers all the time because they were so good. And yeah, DMC5 did not disappoint. I had high expectations, and they were met. I'm arguing between Kingdom Hearts 1 or between Kingdom Hearts 2 and this, between what's my favorite like character action game in terms of its combat, because I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 is maybe more fun, but Devil May Cry 5 is more technical and there's more you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great game. Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Mm-hmm.
I was, I guess, cautiously optimistic. Fate's really disappointed me, and 3 Houses looked good, but I wasn't putting my heart into it. I was like, I'm gonna play it, and I think it'll be good, but we'll see. And everybody said it was the best Fire Emblem game ever, and I thought there's no way, like, it could be that good. Maybe it is, but it can't be that good, and it was that good. Freaking great game. Freaking great game. I would agree, it's probably the best Fire Emblem game. I haven't played the other 2 routes yet, but it's great. And then RE2 Remake, of course. Guys, I'm on my 4th playthrough of this game, and I'm still not tired of it. This is freaking great game. It's one of my favorite games of all time now. There's no doubting that. I love this game so much. In terms of the story, again, first time I experienced that story, it's cool. Leon and Claire are great. I think like every time I play it is unique because I make different mistakes in different ways, and I think that is what makes it so magical. and the way you plot out, like, yo, Mr. X is over here, but there's a liquor in this hallway, but I gotta get this. How do I work around? Again, it's different. Like every time I play it, maybe that's because I suck, but hey, shut up. But this game is amazing. I love it so much, and yeah, it's amazing. It's
I
fantastic.
feel like I can predict your order, like how you're gonna order these. I feel like I can predict it.
All right, well, we'll see.
I'm not gonna try,
Maybe.
but I'm not gonna say
it was hard for the top three, definitely.
Yeah, I know how this is gonna go. I know how this is gonna go.
We'll see. So for movies, out of order again, I saw Rocketman, the Elton John movie. I thought it was really good. I'm not huge on musicals either. I think Blake said he wasn't huge on musicals at some point. I'm not huge on them either, but I thought Rocketman was cool. I thought it was a fun movie, and Taron Egerton is really great. It's interesting, his career, because he started out with Kingsman, where he plays like the coolest guy ever, and then he went to Eddie the Eagle, which is like, whoa, that is way different. Then he plays Elton John, which, like, whoa, like that's also really different. Like, he's really great, and I'm excited for his career in the future. I like him a lot, and the movie was good. It was good. It Chapter 2. I liked It Chapter 1 a lot. A lot of people were kind of disappointed with this one, and I think a big part of that is that everybody agrees the second part of the story is not as good as the first part. And yeah, it's not as good as the first one, but I still really enjoyed it. Like, everyone I talked to about it said the first thing every time, it's not as good as the first one. And I'm like, yeah, but like it was still good though. Like, good movie. The Farewell with Aquafina. Very personal story, kind of depressing in a way, but also super interesting. Yeah, good movie. It came out going, wow, that hit me.
Yeah, another movie I missed that I wish I would have saw, but didn't see it.
It hit me not like a wow, that was great, and not even in a wow, I didn't like that. It was like, wow, that was an experience I had. Crazy. Knives Out, the movie after Last Jedi for Rian Johnson, showing that I like Last Jedi, but the boy still got it. He's gonna be fine. Like, Knives Out made a lot of money. I think as of this recording, it was announced a sequel is in the works or is trying to be made, and I'm excited for that. Knives Out, great mystery. I knew I would like it from the beginning. It's cool. It's really fun. If you guys like stories at all, it's really good. You should check it out, people.
Another movie I missed.
Yeah.
Even though I did not like Last Jedi, I still was like, yo, I hope Rian Johnson doesn't lose a career. But I'm glad he didn't. So I'm glad he gets to make movies. He's not bad,
Yeah. Daniel Craig is. Really
I love Daniel Craig.
How to Train Your Dragon 3. Good movie. I don't know if I like it more than the second one or not. For me, the comedy in 2 and 3 don't work as great as in the first one, but there was less comedy in 1. I'm not a huge fan of the comedy in How to Train Your Dragon. Some of it's a little bit too much. But yeah, like Blake said, the ending, how they ended that trilogy was great. I was afraid because I'm not a huge fan of Kung Fu Panda 3. I like how it ends, but I'm not a huge fan of the movie overall. But I did like Hidden World. I'm glad I liked it. I'm glad I liked Hidden World a lot. There's the Peanut Butter Falcon with Dakota Johnson and Shia LaBeouf. And the third actor that I can't remember, but he was really good too. Good movie, yeah. There's not much I can say about it. It was probably the most feel-good movie out of all of these. And it was a nice, simple movie. I liked it. I'm ending all of these with I liked it, but I did. They're in my top 10 people.
Well, that's good.
Rise of Skywalker. Good movie. It was a mess, but good movie. Oh man. Ford versus Ferrari with Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Great movie.
Another movie I missed. Dang it.
Freaking great movie. Not a huge car guy, but dang, good movie.
Is that it?
Parasite.
Parasite. Go ahead.
That was, I think, the movie. Like I said, Farewell had that effect on me, but Parasite, I came out of it going, whoa, dang, like that hit me in a way. It's crazy. Especially, what happens in that movie. Great film.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Seeing Snowpiercer, Memories of Murder. I don't know which one I like more between Parasite or Memories of Murder. But it was really good. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And Avengers Endgame, I thought it is like, oh, I don't think it's as good as Infinity War. I think Infinity War is such a tight movie, and I think I don't think there's many faults in Infinity War. Endgame there are definitely more faults. Yeah, I probably agree a lot on what Blake said, like the way the arcs work and some, but I'm more forgiving on others. But it's like a hey, let's go through the 10 years of Marvel, and for me, I thought that was great. Like I don't know, let's just say just now, but yeah, I thought it was great. A great, just again, call back to a lot of things, and for me, when those moments hit, it hit. Yeah, some of it is messy, but yeah, when it hit, it hit. Like Cap got the hammer, man. Cap got the hammer.
The fan service in that film was like incredible. I don't think I've seen a movie that
It's
so
the
much.
most. It's fair. It's a fan service movie. It's fan service of the movie.
Yeah,
That's what that movie is.
and I think
For
that's
some,
what saves it for me personally. Is just like like they kind of rewarded you for being an MCU guy or girl.
yeah,
For
yeah. For some people,
yeah.
I understand the argument. Like, well, it's just fan service. The movie. It's like, that's really it. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but I like Infinity War more.
I would disagree. I would say that it's more than that, but what it does have in that is not 100% perfect. But the fan service is amazing and stuff like that. But the story's fine too. I don't think the story's bad. I just think that like where it kind of goes is like, okay. That's just me. That's a me thing. I know I'm a very minor
so like
voice in that. So I'm not.
When I came out of Infinity War, I thought that for me that was like near perfect, if not perfect for me. Like, and then Endgame is just like icing on the cake. Like, hey, this is how we're ending it out. It's just fan service to movie. I'm like, yo, I love fan service. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. And when I came out, I forget if I've seen it, if I saw it 2 or 3 times in the theater. I just can't remember. I liked it. I thought it was a great way to end off that series, just making fan service the movie. And yes. So my 2019 for entertainment, I thought it was good. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, 2020 it sucked for games." I thought, no, it didn't. Get out of here, huh?
2019. You said 2020.
Did I? Yeah. Sorry, I meant 2019. If I did say that, my bad. 2019 was a great year for games. It's the fact that 2018, it was either 2018 or 2017. It was like one of the best years in gaming
2017
ever. 2017.
You had Breath of the Wild. You had Mario Odyssey. You had tons and tons and tons of other great stuff. You had like a buttload of great stuff in 2017.
Yeah.
2018 had a lot of great stuff too.
Yeah.
But I have heard people say that 2019 sucked, and I was like, I don't think so. I think 2019 was actually pretty solid.
Again, I said like RE2, Devil May Cry 5, those games alone, I think. I'm not saying, yo, that means 2019 was great. But I'm like, those are 2 AAA games that came out of Capcom that were fantastic. Yeah. And then you had, again, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, you had MK11, and you had like other things that even like I didn't play.
Yeah.
So it was still, I'm not saying, yo, this was a freaking fantastic year. I'm saying it was a good year for games.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was just not what we had before, and that's okay. Because next year, that's when all the games come out.
Yeah, all around March, April, and May. Get your wallets out and ready to lose all that cash.
And then even more we don't know about in the latter half of the year.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
So yeah, 2019 I thought was great for games and movies, and then I guess
2019 I think will go down as probably one of the most divisive years of all time.
I would agree.
And just about. I think, did I say that one time? I feel like I said that at some point.
You said it earlier, yeah.
Yeah, like but not just with movies though. I mean, like with everything. Like people are like, yeah. Because I feel like there's a lot of games out there that are like, yeah, that's amazing. But then there was a lot of people who are like, 2019 kind of sucked. And there's some people like, no, 2019 was great, And then there's some people who are looking at the movies saying the same things. It's like, oh, this movie was trash, but no, this movie was good, So I think 2019 will go down as a very divisive year, which I think will be interesting. And I think 2020, if some of the games disappoint that are coming out, if by some miracle The Last of Us is bad, or Final Fantasy VII is bad, or if those games end up being of varying quality, I think 2020 could look like a divisive year, but I don't see that happening. I feel like,
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of crowd pleasers.
Yeah,
To be honest.
there's more promise in 2020 than there was in 2019. 2019 had a lot of experimental, unique stuff. I think for the most part, Sekiro,
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 remake, things like that came out, and people were like, "Oh shoot, you people like this stuff. Let's give them more." Death Stranding, things like that. Games that were divisive, and I
Yeah.
think that'll
So
be So
as even taking out of media overall, 2019 was a good year, I think, for me.
mm-hmm.
Of course, a lot of stuff happened in the world that was crazy, but in terms of like milestones in life, 2019 was a good one, I would say. Hopefully, a lot of growth. But
Mm-hmm.
2019 was a good year, and
Good
hopefully,
year.
2020 is better.
Mm-hmm.
We we shall see.
don't go to war. Just kidding.
Yeah.
but really, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you have any final thoughts on 2019 itself?
Um, it was a rough year for me. Again, I lost some family, lost some good stuff. A lot of change for me. But you know what? I think 2019 will be a year where, like I said, it was divisive. It had some rough patches. It had some good. It had some highs and some lows. And 2019, I think, has the most extreme highs and some of the most extreme lows for me. Where, for 2019, 2019 is the year I got Smash Brothers Ultimate and fell in love with that game. It's now my favorite game of all time. I had some lows with the losing of some family members and some things like that. But, I mean, I think 2019 in hindsight, hindsight's 2020. Get it?
Ooh,
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody picked up on that, but I was kind of thinking
I didn't.
are
That's
people?
good.
Well, I know you got it now, but I was
Yeah.
wondering did somebody make that joke? I feel like somebody made that joke
I
on
like
Twitter.
it. I like it.
But so I'll probably look back on 2019 and think about the fun that I had, the good times, and even dwell on the losses a little bit, and be like, you know what, I got to move on, I got to grow stronger. So I hope that 2020 is going to be a year of growth and hopefully a year of marching forward. So that's what I'm looking forward to in 2020 is just
Amen.
continuing on. Hopefully, I want to start making more content. Obviously, I feel like we say this every year, but I want to start doing something unique for our channel, like something interesting, something that expresses who I am, and something that is interesting. So I don't know if I'll be able to find that, but I hope I do. So that's really it for me.
Is 2019 my silent voice video? Or is that 2018?
Let us look. Let me take a look.
Because I'll say if it is 2019, I think I was able to do that more for myself. Because the silent voice video and the Gridman video were like more personal videos that I put. Not I don't want to say more effort, but a different kind of effort into, and I was really proud of those videos, even if like when I made them, I wasn't like I hope this gets a lot of views. I was like if like one person can watch this and go like yo that hit me or like that impacted me or I learned something from that, I can go that was worth it,
That was 2018, the tail end of 2018. But your Gridman review and your Beauty of Kyoto animation were all in 2019. Both games, both videos that I think are wonderful follow-ups to that video.
Thank you, sir. So, I was also very proud of those. So
I think you have every right to be proud of those, sir.
I hope to make hopefully a few more of those next year.
Yes. Get a sequel.
I have one or two, maybe three planned, but we'll see how that goes.
Yay!
And of course, Blake will record them.
No, get someone else. Hey, we should get Colton. Colton has a nice voice. Nice deep voice.
He does, actually. He does. But yeah, so that's 2019. But Blake, you got any thoughts on 2020? Or sorry, dang it, on the decade.
On the decade? Oh man. Wow. Shoot. Man, it's been a crazy 10 years. Crazy 10 years for me. From 2010 to 2020, obviously. I mean, man, what can I say? It's 10 years. I learned to love fighting games. I truly fell in love with the genre, and now it's probably like either in my top 3 favorite video game genres, if not my number 1, because I just found that fighting games can be more than just, hitting the square button, hope to God you hit somebody, and, mashing the big super button, spamming moves, things like that. Like, I learned how to kind of grow stronger and like understand myself through fighting games. It sounds weird, but I feel like I've learned a lot about who I am, what I like, what I enjoy when I play fighting games, and find a character and wonder why I like them, you know, see my weaknesses and be like, okay, how do I fix them? Like, fighting games have taught me so much about who I am and like how to move on, how to, you know, build upon a foundation. I think that's something that I will appreciate from the decade most of all, is like playing some fighting games, because, you know, I started with Smash 4. Like I said, I've told the story where it's like I started with Smash 4, got spiked by some guy online. I was like, yo, you can do that? And so that just took me off, and I was all like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be like that. And I just launched that moment in Smash 4 launched me being sitting here saying, yo, KOF, a game that I'd never even really thought of when I was like 12. That game's hype. Like, that game's great, you know? And so I definitely think I'll walk out of this decade saying, yo, I'm excited to, you know, play more fighting games, and I'd honestly be down to go to more locals. I think I kind of want to do that more so. Go to more locals and play more of these games, even if I'm not particularly good at them.
Invite me when you do, buddy.
For sure. I'm not going alone. I'm scared. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's what I'll appreciate most of the decade, is that the fighting games I played have truly just like kind of really struck me as a genre and really made me want to like learn more about them, but also learn more about myself and learn more about how to overcome the weaknesses that I have in myself. So that's something that I think for games I'll walk out of. As for movies, I have to, you know, even though I would say that, like, you know, Endgame's, you know, I have my opinions on Endgame, but like, man, I gotta give it up. 2012 Avengers, like, shoot, this was an arc. You know what I mean? Like, to go from 2012 Avengers to Avengers Endgame is pretty incredible. And I really am, like, I'm happy that I was able to experience something so cool, you know? Because, I mean, you know, you fall in love with Marvel, and then you get to watch these movies and see them on screen, and, you know, seeing Captain America.
We'll probably look back on it and go, yeah, like, we watched that as it happened. This whole saga.
Yeah, we really did grow up with those movies, and it's interesting to think that, like, a whole chain lasted from, well, 2008, even though it's not the decade, but 2008 all the way to 2019. That's 11 years of Marvel movies, and that's incredible. And I think that's something that I will, you know, I'm kind of putting my Marvel MCU fandom kind of on the shelf a little bit, as you know, the decade went on. It wasn't that I was getting, like, I didn't like them. I was just kind of like, well, I kind of want something new and fresh to kind of take hold of my fandom, you know. So my hope is that something unique can kind of spark, and hopefully we get another kind of franchise built like this, because I did like the way the MCU was structured. I liked how it was built on. So I hope that, you know, we get something cool. And I have a feeling that, like, 2020 could be a year of something cool, just boom, like sparking, you know, whether it's a TV show or a movie. So yeah, I think it's been really cool to be on this ride that Marvel took me on. So, and, you know, to see DC flop around like a fish out of water for however many years.
Dead fish.
So, I mean, hey, I got a Justice League movie after all these years. We got it.
You got it, buddy. This is yours now.
I cannot believe
you can have it.
I cannot believe that I actually just said that. Like, after all these years, people have been waiting for a Justice League movie, and we got it.
You finally
got it. Like,
that's ridiculous to me.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like, here we are in a decade where we had 4 Avengers movies, and we had 1 Justice League movie, and it was bad. Like,
it's crazy.
It was the,
well, like you said,
Justice League. Like,
it's crazy that it took this long to get it.
Yeah.
But it's all crazier that it was terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, man, it's been a pretty crazy ride for me, and I think that, oh, that's funny. The song "Last Goodbye" came on from Undertale.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's really emotional. So, but yeah, man, I mean, 2019 was a nuts year, but the past decade was a crazy, crazy amount of change and stuff going on. But I think that the decade has definitely built me up, and I can't wait to see what the next one brings, you know? So But I mean,
Uh,
that's it for me. So what about you? Do you have any reflections
very
on the
happy,
decade?
very happy about that, buddy. Well, first I'm just gonna list off my games and movies of the decade.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will go into overall thoughts.
Cannot believe you actually made one. I wanted to, but bro, I can't even begin to go back and be like, yo, shoot, what did I play?
I just like looked up my favorite games
Mm-hmm.
and then see what year they came out. Go, okay, boom, they came out 2010. That works.
Mm.
So that made it easier on me. But then I also looked up like I did look up like 2010 games,
Mm-hmm.
and some popped up. Go, oh yeah, that game came out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was mainly the method I used. So this is out of order as well. But I think it will be out of order for Twitter. I could do it numbered, but also I like the idea that out of 10 years, this is my five favorite things from my two favorite mediums. So they're all equal to me in different ways, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So favorite games again out of order is Fire Emblem Awakening. That got me into. I'm not even still super into them, but it got me into strategy games, strategy RPGs, and that game when I played it, I was like, oh my god, like this is amazing, this is incredible. I loved all the characters. At the time, it was yeah, I played through it twice, and I went, this is my favorite game of all time, dude. Like
Whoa.
I love Fire Emblem Awakening. I do say Three Houses. I think it is better in terms of what it adds to it, how it pushes the series forward, and I think through replaying it and going through the different routes, I will probably like it more, and it might replace it as my favorite, like of the decade over time.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, like what that game meant to me and what it did, like it got me introduced to Fire Emblem and again strategy RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's here instead of Three Houses. It's great.
Mm-hmm. You should play Wargroove.
I looked up my some of my favorite RPGs, and most of them came out before 2010. So
Yeah.
but one of my new favorites, which is one of my new favorite games of all time, obviously it's in here, is Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love that game because like its combat takes a while to get like to build up and to really get the full combat experience, but once you do, on paper it sounds like I won't like it, but I love it so much. I love the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's so unique, and like the world building of it is just in the way the landscapes are, especially when you take account like Torna and then how it changed later on. Oh, it's great, and I do I love the story and like its themes of like existence and what it means to live, and like kind of like yeah, like I said, existence. It's I went into it going like kind of cautious about it because there are a lot of like mixed reviews, the ones I saw, and I went, well, we'll see if I like it. It looks interesting. I don't know. Even when I saw the trailer, I thought I might play that. I don't know. But what I took out of it was more than I thought I would get, and yeah, it's great. I mean, I played 70 hours of it, and now we're playing through it again. It's good, man. It's real good. It is very cliche, yes, but I think what it excels at really great. Smash Ultimate, of course. Like I don't even need to say it. Like when I was thinking about before my favorite, like top 5, top 10 games, Smash 4. It was a debate there because I always say like, it's like, for me, I care more about single player because like I like really good stories, and I think stories in games are really good if if they're done well. And so I take into account like a mix of gameplay and story. Sometimes that can, if the gameplay is so perfect, it will overshadow the story, and that's okay. But for Smash 4, I was like, it could be in the top 10, but there might be a game I like more because like I like the game or like the story more. Because like Smash 4 is just it's Smash 4. That's not a negative, just saying. But Smash Ultimate, the art, like I remember, like there could be more in terms of, like its modes and all that. Like I don't think Smash. I'm not like it sounds like I'm being negative, but like there are things I can go, yeah, like okay, no. What I mean is there are things I could go in terms of modes and stuff. other Smash games did better. But like I loved World of Light, and for me that I was like, okay, that's like my single player thing that I love. That Smash more didn't have. I don't like it as much as Subspace, but like I still like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other modes I really like. Like I did like Smash 4 and Smash 4, and my sad it's gone. Not really, but you know, like it's fine. It's not there. So there's some things I could go. Yeah, there could be more of this. But what I'm trying to say is I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And Smash Ultimate is one of the greatest games of all time. Like what it does have in there is some more content than games have nowadays, and it's or I don't know what I'm saying there, but it has some of the most content in a game ever. And I could go, yeah, I could have this or it could have this. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's
Everyone is
great.
here,
It's
baby.
Smash Ultimate.
Everyone,
Yeah.
everything.
It's freaking great. I think that's what I was trying to say overall. Yeah. I don't really have any qualms with the game.
You can be critical. It's okay.
I'm saying overall, I don't like. It doesn't matter to me that much. Like,
I know.
Whatever. Again, top 5 games of the decade. Like, come on. Like, we're splitting hairs here, and really, I'm splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
Against myself for some reason. And then RE2 remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like. Dead Space 2 was my favorite, like, survival horror game because I do still love that game.
Yeah.
And it is stronger in some areas, like it is a longer experience, and there's some things like probably more if I replayed it.
Mm-hmm.
But RE2 remake is again so perfect, guys. I played this game. I'm on the 4th playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
I will reiterate, and I'm not tired of it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows me, damn, I love this freaking game. I could probably, if I push myself and played it like 10 times, I might go, oh, I'm bored of it. But like, that's for any game, homies.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played a game like 4 times. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's freaking great.
Yeah.
And what I will say is my game of the decade is the only one I would number is Nier Automata.
Wow.
Nier Automata, I went in going, I don't know Nier at all. I never played a Yoko Taro game. I've heard of Drakengard. I've never played it. It looks kind of weird. But the gameplay looks cool. I hear it plays well. And I was kind of split if I wanted to get it or not, but I did. And the combat is amazing, but like what it does with the story, not even the story itself, but the way it tells the story. Like what I love about it is like the story, but like more so the themes, kind of like Xenoblade 2, themes about like humanity, what it means to be human, like what it means like to live, like looking at things like love, like bonds, companionship, like religion even.
Would you say one of the themes is what it means to be?
That's good. Yes.
That's intentional, by the way. That's not me. I'm like 90% sure that's why the main character.
I'm 90% sure that's what they call it. But yeah, like the themes and everything, when I took away from it, like it's really deep, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god! Like I said, the way it's told, also like, I like video game stories a lot, and some people would argue there's never been a good video game story because they're video games. I'm like, that's not true.
That's not true.
But this, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 cannot be a show or a movie because again, it's like a 70-hour game. You couldn't do that story. But Nier Automata, it has to be a video game. Like, there's so many unique and powerful moments that are in it. Not from even the story itself, but the moments of it. Again, uniquely being it as a video game. And it's like, wow, I've never seen a game do this, and it only could be done in a game.
Yeah.
And because like, it's the most like again, if I play Nier, I think there are similar experiences like that in Nier and Drakengard. But this was the first time a game hit me in that way, where I went, it has to be a game. Like I said, it has to be experienced as a game, not even through a story perspective. And I'm looking at the poster in my room right now. I love it. I love it. It's great. Like, like I said, it has that blend. Like the gameplay, great. Story, great. But those extra things I just said elevate it so much. It's the most unique experience I played.
Yeah.
In this entire decade, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
wow,
I mean that must have taken a lot for you to really narrow down. I mean, you RE2's up there, Smash Ultimate's in there. I mean, but wow, to Nier Automata, I'm actually gotta say I'm kind of surprised. I know you love that game,
Yeah.
but dang, for
Yeah.
game of the decade for you.
Like I thought about it. Like it would probably be Smash Ultimate if it weren't near. But like I said, because it's such a unique experience, I'm like, wow, like that game was powerful.
Yeah.
A lot of these are a lot of my favorite games, like just out of the decade, but just like even top 10 ever. I think that's just because like I'm not saying like games get better as they go on, but there's an argument for it. But
Yeah,
like games, they I guess maybe they do over time, but like I don't know, man. But they're great. Honorable mentions, real quick. Just like I said, Dead Space 2 was my favorite survival horror before RE2. Persona 5, Persona 3 would have been on the favorite games of the decade list, but I was like, that's 2007. That doesn't count. That would have replaced Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But Persona 5 was great. And Spider-Man PS4, the best superhero game I've ever played for me, and one of the best Spider-Man stories I've seen in a game, and one of the best probably the best characterization of that character I've seen ever. Yeah.
Aside from Into the Spider-Verse, which by the way is probably one.
Oh shoot.
Well, yeah, that movie's great. Absolutely love it. Probably one of the best of the decade.
Shoot, I do love that version of Spider-Man.
Well, I was gonna say, besides Into the Spider-Verse, for me, I think that's the best Spider-Man story, like standalone story that's ever really been told, outside of maybe Into the Spider-Verse and maybe Spectacular Spider-Man. Like those three, Spider-Man PS4.
Again, it's
Into the
straight
Spider-Verse
like
and Spectacular.
Spider-Verse has a. It is still Spider-Man, but obviously it's slightly different.
Yeah, no, it's not even real. Like if we're talking like Peter Parker, then it's a tie between Spectacular and Spider-Man for PS4 for me.
Yeah.
If we're talking Spider-Man, like Spider-Man,
I would argue that
those three, huh?
Like that, no, like that Peter for me in Spider-Verse still, it really works for me because I thought I was just gonna get kind of like Miles says, the lazy hobo Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he's really not that. Like
no,
he has aspects of that, but he's not that.
Yeah.
Like he is the most skilled member of the team.
Yeah, despite him being
he has,
Yeah.
Like I thought I was gonna get a Spider-Man who is not skilled anymore, who is not in his prime, who kind of sucks, and then like kind of regains it at the end. But no, he has it from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's just his personal stuff he learns throughout it. But yeah, Spider-Man PS4 is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
I would honestly, I mean, if I'm going to be straight up here, I would honestly need to make a whole... Oh, sorry. No, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to let you finish.
No, go on. No, you should finish.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, I would like to actually make a solo video. I think that's actually what I'm going to take as my first project for 2020. I want to make a solo video of probably the stuff, either something I learned from this decade or like just a compilation of all the games I played that I liked. Maybe a list like yours, because I actually really like what you're doing here. But I feel like
we'll make a
I literally have so many. Like I'm looking at my shelves and I'm thinking about my digital collection. I'm like, oh my god, holy crap! I played a crap ton of stuff. Like I need to think about this. So, but I do like what you're doing here. So.
If I take your idea, I'm sorry.
No, you can take.
I might do that for games.
I would. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I don't have. I mean, movie wise, I don't have a ton, but I could say something.
I feel like I'm not as passionate about my movies list, even though I love them, as my games list.
You know what, John? I feel the exact same way. I'm like, man, I like movies, but dang, games are cool. Like they're just so cool.
Yeah, it's like games is the medium we love the most.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah, it really is. Yeah. I thought it was movies, but
yeah. So favorite movies of the decade. First Spider-Verse. Best superhero movie of all time.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. It used to be like Avengers or something like that for me, but no, dude, this bad boy is like the best superhero movie ever told.
Yeah. My second or third favorite version of Peter Parker ever. Like I said, I thought I was gonna get one version, but I got a completely different one. But I love the way Peter grows in that movie, and it makes sense to me. Oh, it's so good. And obviously, like Miles is great, and every character in that movie is great. Like Peter Porker should not work like but it does. Even like I was like, okay, well, it's gonna be Miles focused and maybe Peter, but there's not gonna be much for the other three. But there's actually kind of some arcs for them, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not as fleshed out as Gwen, Peter. Well, I would say Peter and Miles are the most fleshed out. They do still have fleshing out, which impressed me
Yeah.
a lot.
Gwen does.
Like,
Even freaking shoot.
um,
Penny Parker.
Yeah, Penny. Like, yeah, with the robot in that moment, like
That was so
for a
sad.
second,
I was like, oh
that
no.
didn't hit me the first moment, but that's because I was focused on like Peter and Miles.
Mm.
But then I looked at it and went, oh shoot, like that is a big moment for that character.
That's her
we
father's
just don't.
machine. Yeah.
Yeah, like you had to think about more, and even Spider-Man Noir,
Mm-hmm.
like oh he's just like the tough, like
Yeah.
detective dude. But like I love that moment when they leave, like Peter's talking to Miles at his apartment,
Mm-hmm.
like the big Miles moment, and then they leave and like they leave and they don't want to bring Miles, but it's not because they don't trust him, it's because they don't really want him to get hurt.
Yeah. They love him too much to see him get hurt.
They're not doing it because they're mean, which I think is the generic movie way to do it.
Yeah.
But no, they're doing it out of kindness,
Yeah.
like genuine kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And like when Miles is going,
he's not ready.
It's like I want to do this. Let me do it. Like, and Noir goes like he genuinely says like poor kid. Like I want to help him.
Mm-hmm.
I might even want him to come, but I know he can't.
Mm-hmm.
What a great moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Spider-Verse is amazing. Looking at these 5, yeah, that might be my movie of the decade. Thinking about it.
Honestly, I have to do a little more digging for decade because dang,
I'm just looking at these 5 movies. I mean, yeah, like.
But dude, honestly, I have no quarrels saying that is the best superhero movie ever made.
Yeah,
in my
even
opinion.
to talk about the animation.
The style that they put into it to make it look more comic booky, to make it look so vivid and unique is just I love it. I love it. It's the most perfect adaptation I've ever seen for a comic book superhero, and I can only hope that I know that it will never happen, but I hope that DC looks at that and is like, yo, what are we even freaking doing with ourselves? Yeah. But they're not.
Yeah. It's amazing. Let's just hope Spider-Verse 2 is a fraction as good as the first one.
I hope if it's better, I'm gonna lose it. But man, I'm excited.
We'll see. Like, we got a different director, I think different writer as well. We will see, my guy.
Please, Spider-Man 2099.
I know.
Please.
I know.
He's got to come back.
We'll see. Like I want it to be good, but I hope like when you switch writers and directors like that, it doesn't say good things. But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. But next is The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
That's surprising to me because normally I would just go, that's just a movie. But I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. Even now I don't know. But I just love the way. Like I remember in high school one time I watched it. There's a period when I watched it like every day when I came home while I did my homework, and I just put that on. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just really like the way the story is told. I love the actors, the comedy, everything about it. It made me love Andrew Garfield, and when he was announced for Spider-Man, I went, yeah, that's perfect. That's freaking perfect. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was great.
I don't know why I love it so much. I just do. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, one of the most stylized, funny, and I haven't read Scott Pilgrim, but I hear it's one of the best adaptations of a comic ever. That movie is perfect. It's so much style to it. It's Edgar Wright. I argue between that and Hot Fuzz. What's his best movie to me? But that's his best movie, man. Scott Pilgrim's his best movie. It's so great. Avengers: Infinity War. That's probably honestly my second favorite superhero movie of all time. Like, I could say, oh well, Guardians 2 has stronger themes and stronger narrative, stronger characters, and the way it looks at those characters. But Infinity War gave me everything I wanted in terms of like the action. It gave the characters their spotlight. I think because it's such a tight movie in terms of its pacing, it is really well done. Its action is great. It's yeah. it's in terms of like its writing, I could think of a bunch of other superhero movies, probably even in the MCU alone. But Infinity War hit me in a way I didn't think it would, but it did.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the I put Ratatouille on here, but then I realized, oh wait, that's 2007, 2008. Dang it, doesn't count. So I was looking for a last minute one, and when it came down to it, I put Lego Movie on here. Because Lego Movie, kind of like Spider-Verse, was a super unique experience, especially when you go Lego Movie. That's a cash grab. That will be good. And then, it's one of the best animated movies I've ever seen.
It's dang good. It's a real good movie.
Not just in the way it does its animation with Legos, but the story is great, and the theme is very universal, but it's such a great theme in the way it says that theme, and then the live action part, bringing that in, making it way bigger than you thought it was. It's like, wow, like normally that kind of reveal would ruin the movie, go like none of this matters, but it makes it matter more, Blake.
Yeah,
it makes it matter more.
I 110% agree.
Same guys who wrote, or
Spider-Verse.
they wrote it. Did they write it as well? I know they directed.
I think they had a hand in the writing. I think one of them. I think Miller.
Yeah, they did Lego Movie and Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. They did a lot of stuff.
Just stay in animation, man. Just stay in it.
Honestly,
forever.
yeah. I mean, because I did see 21 and 22 Jump Street, and I do like those movies. They're actually very funny, very well made. But man, their animated work is just it's great.
It's much stronger.
Yeah,
it's
even Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, what they also worked on is actually
I keep forgetting they did that. Yeah, that's great.
So, and I've heard amazing things about Clone High, which is the show that they made. So,
and I'm saying there's a reason why Cloudy 2, why Lego 2, and we don't know about Spider-Verse 2 yet. But from what I hear, they're not as good as the first ones, because whatever they do is the secret formula, and they just got it. Yeah, Lego Movie is amazing. So those are my top 5 movies and games. I have similar feelings with Blake. Just, I guess overall for movies, I think specifically for animation-wise, I think just animation in general, to be honest. I think this decade has shown a lot of more experimentation.
Yeah.
I got into more anime this decade, which showed me, oh shoot, I don't just have to watch SpongeBob or even, we would get those gems like Gravity Falls and Motor City, but like anime does it more consistently. There's a lot of trash every season. I'm not gonna say every anime is great, because most of it, you look at the numbers, is bad. But like every year when I would go through my anime list, I would think this is one of my new favorite animes. Like every year I would get a new one. I would get a new favorite anime. That's because the stories that they would do with animation, the animation itself, is so unique. And I think over here we've been learning more of that. Like I said, we got Gravity Falls, but we've been getting, like I said, Lego Movie and Spider-Verse, Captain Underpants. In terms of animation, the Peanuts movie.
Yeah.
More studios are realizing you can do more, have more unique animation while having it fit the thing like
that's based on.
That's based on, and that's very exciting. Animation just my eyes were open this decade in terms of animation.
One thing I do have to say that I found funny when you were talking is like sometimes we get those hidden gems like Gravity Falls, and Gravity Falls, and that's not you.
Motor
that's
City.
Just no, that's not you. That's the industry. There's nothing else.
No,
like,
you're right.
You have a handful.
I could think of more if I thought about it.
Like, but it's all on like Netflix, and if it's on Netflix, it doesn't end up being very good. Voltron. But,
it's even when you find an animated show over here, I thought about this like years ago, like Gravity Falls, like Motor City. There's a few others, obviously, I just can't think of right now.
No, there are.
But that's the span of those is so far apart. But like I said, for anime, I would come up every year. I would say this is one of my new favorite animated shows. 2016 also a new favorite. 2017 also a new favorite. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Every year I find a new one.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
Every year I find at least one that hits me and go, oh, God, that was great.
And that's something that even as like a non-anime fan that I notice, like I'll see like a ton of people loving like My Hero, and then I'll see freaking what is it, Demon Slayer, Demon Killer, Demon Hunter,
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. Like that one's getting popular now. It's like, dude, it's like one after the other. They just keep getting more and more and better, and it's like, dang, like that, like that's impressive, right? Where they just keep stacking them on. You know what I mean? Like there's just so much that you can love in the regards to anime, and I think that's great. Like you got the freaking Broly movie that comes out and blows everybody's freaking mind with the animation. Oh, yeah. It's just like, yo, you can do this with Dragon Ball? Oh, what? Like,
Yeah, and you have like a lot more regular theaters, like special theater screenings of anime movies.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah. I see them a ton at the theater down the street.
It would be rare when you would get those, and now I feel like every big one I hear about will get a Western release over here.
Yeah.
In some way, and that's, I think, showing more that audiences like more of that stuff.
Yes.
They like more unique animated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to see what more we get of that.
Yeah.
Will we get more 2D animation over here in the West?
No.
Maybe, hopefully,
we'll see. We won't, John. We just won't.
Shut up. What?
They don't even care,
Blake.
John.
But Blake. No. But Blake.
I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Everything's going to be 3D. It has to be 3D because audiences don't like 2D. Do you want to know why? Because Princess and the Frog flopped, John. It flopped.
But in their defense, Tangled was very good.
Yeah. No, I'm not even... No. But I'm just saying, like, no. They're sitting here like, oh, well, it's 2D because nobody likes 2D anymore. Everybody loves Chicken Little. And Valiant.
Oh, God, stop. No, it's bad.
I don't know, man. Hey, if I could say that's a hope for 2020, I hope that's a hope for 2020. I want to see more like unique 2D stuff. Like, where's my, like where is that stuff? Like, where did it go? Like I love 3D animation, but like I'm kind of sick of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like I've seen so much of
you
it.
Get this someone. Well, I think like everybody knows you get the same generic looking main character.
Yeah.
And a lot of 3D stuff.
Yeah, and you know what I have to honestly kind of say? Pixar, they have to stay 3D. I know that. I'm not even asking them to change. But, I mean, dude, some of the stuff they're doing in their shorts looks more unique and interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Than, like, you know what I mean? Like, they used to, maybe this is a bad place for it, but they used to have, like, a unique style between each movie. Like, if you look at Ratatouille and Incredibles, there's a unique differentiation between the art. But now I feel like I'm looking at Soul, and it looks reminiscent of Inside Out. Reminiscent of Coco. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of are starting to sort of blend together, and I kind of want them to change their art up a little more. Do something a little bit more stylistic, like their shorts, But that's a hope for 2020, I guess I could say.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, so... Like I said, my feelings on movies aren't super, like, passionate as much as, like, the games or...
Yeah.
The animation side is more that, because animation is my favorite, like, medium, except for games to experience stories, because we've talked about it. You can do so much more with animation.
Yeah, it's almost like video games have really good animation, John.
Oh, you're right.
They have, like, dude, honestly, I mean, shoot.
So yeah, the only thing I could talk about for movies is, like, the MCU.
Yeah.
Just what Blake said. It's a crazy journey. Crazy that we have lived through it. And that, we'll look back and go, wow, like, we were there.
Yeah.
Like, we were there when this happened.
I was there on the first night of Avengers 1, and like, I was there on the first night of Avengers 2.
It's hard to say now, because we really are still in the middle.
Yeah.
But years later, we gotta look back and go, that was an iconic moment in movie history and in superhero history.
I agree.
And we were there when it happened.
You're talking about Justice League, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's iconic as well. Yeah.
Anyways.
In a different way. For games, I think kind of what I said with animation. I think with games we're getting a lot more unique experiences, not even just from indies, but I think AAA games are doing that more. Like I said, like near Automata, we're getting more of those kind of experiences that are like, oh, this is kind of different, And I think studios are doing that more. So like you, like haven't played it, but you hear like so many things about Hellblade. And how that is so unique and different, and that's, I don't know if that's AAA, but it's still a big, like, looks like a big budget game,
AAA indie game, as they call it.
Yeah,
which means it had a big budget, but it was an indie game, so.
Yeah, but things like that, I'm really excited to see more of that.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think. Yeah, I guess I take back my statement from before. I think games have been getting better over time. And I think that's probably why, like, not against older games, but I think that's why, like,
No.
the newer games pop up on my favorite lists as it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just a lot of interesting stuff going on with games
Mm-hmm.
and animation.
Yeah. No.
And for in terms of the entertainment side,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I took away from it, and I'm looking forward to for the next decade. In terms of channel, I'm really proud of what we've done. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
it's been great. I'm not saying it sounds like I'm going. It's over. We're done. But I think we've done a lot of fun and unique stuff on this channel, and of course, I do reflect the sentiment. I want to do more unique stuff, more that pushes us past what we've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be exciting for me, for both of us.
On a personal level, I feel like I've done a lot of growing. It's always hard to tell, for like yourself and like when you're in the moment. But I feel like I've done a lot of growing. I've done a lot more reflecting, I think, on myself. And recently I've gone over like some hangups on like just things and how like I view myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to have a more kind of look at that, not even look at it more. So I've been trying to look at it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I've started to come to the step where I can go, okay, like I'm starting to move forward, and like I said, how I view myself and how like different things.
Yes.
And so of course, I'm still continuing that stuff in the next decade. But that was a big like moment for me. I think it was around end of last year, or be like, okay, wait, that's different now. Like beginning of 2019, end of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big moment for me, and so I hope to keep that forward in 2020 on a personal level. So yeah, I guess there was a lot of growth in this decade, and yeah, we'll see what 2020 holds,
Yeah, we'll see what 2020 and all the way from the next decade. So
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all we got on the decade.
Mm-hmm.
Those were our thoughts. Like I said, end of an era, crazy end of an era.
Mm-hmm.
But what's another end of an era, Blake?
What is?
An era needs to end off strong, right?
Oh gosh, are we actually going to talk about this?
The end of an era ends off strong, Blake.
Uh-huh.
There's another end of an era. I think, well, okay, I think I lost the transition. Well, there's maybe an end of an era that did not end off so strong, Blake.
Uh-huh.
We both saw Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I think we're gonna keep it a bit shorter because there's a lot to talk about. End of the decade, man, a lot to talk about. But we both saw Rise of Skywalker, and I guess I'll start with my thoughts. So, I'm not I like Star Wars a lot, but I have, well, me and Blake both know people that are like huge Star Wars fans, and I'm like, that's awesome for you. You live and breathe it. That's amazing. For me, it's always been a cool franchise that I just like the original trilogy were always just, I didn't even grow up with them. Like when I was maybe 8, 10, that's when I started to really watch them. And so I didn't really grow, it wasn't a big core of my childhood, but I still really liked Star Wars. So there's this new trilogy, and there's been a lot of a lot of split opinions on it. And I remember going into seeing Force Awakens going, yo, I'm actually super hyped. It's probably some of the best marketing and trailers ever. And for me, overall, I like this trilogy. I liked Force Awakens. On rewatch, it is less impactful. And I say, I like it a little less every time I watch it. But I still think Force Awakens is a very strong movie. Last Jedi, oh man, no man, that is a love or hate movie, people. And I love Last Jedi. Okay, so I thought about this. Maybe I'll go into it later. But I love Last Jedi. It has its faults, but I really, really like what they did in Last Jedi. It is my third favorite Star Wars movie, people. Freaking great. And Blake is giving me looks of disgust. Blake's drinking stuff, and it looks like someone just like put something in it. It's like ugh. So I like this trilogy, but Rise of Skywalker, oh man, that movie's a mess, people. Like first like 20, 30 minutes, I was like, oh boy, oh, it is a mess. I'm not gonna say it isn't. Really, almost any negative point people say about it, I probably cannot defend. I recognize that. But I had a fun ass time. It is, except for Avengers Endgame, it's probably the most fun I had in the theater. Maybe Knives Out. But I had a lot of fun with it. I've seen this movie 3 times, and I maybe want to see it a 4th time. I just have fun with this movie. For me, it's just a fun movie. It's a very flawed movie, very messy movie, but for me, it's a fun movie. And I like it. I like it. Those are my thoughts.
Okay.
And here it starts, people.
Alright. So, okay, first off, I need to emphasize something. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I don't hate them. I have to stress that. I do not hate the movies. I don't even not like them, right? I've grown up with, like, the most passionate Star Wars fans I think I've ever met in my life. Like, they have read all this, like, they love the Clone Wars, they love the prequels, believe it or not. Yes, they love the prequels, they love the originals, they love George Lucas, they practically worship the man. They love the supplementary material, they love the spin-offs, they love the fan films, they love everything about Star Wars, right? So I've grown up with these people. These people are like lifelong friends, right? Now, I don't know what happened. Maybe I got dropped on my head as a baby or something, but I just was like, you know what? That's cool and all, but here's this guy with a whip and a hat who's going on adventures and digging up artifacts and killing Nazis. That's pretty cool. I think that's a little cooler. So, in case it wasn't indicative, or obvious rather, I like Indiana Jones. If I'm talking a George Lucas-led franchise or influenced franchise, I like Indiana Jones more than I like Star Wars.
I was about to say, isn't that Steven Spielberg?
Well, he's the director, but George Lucas was also like the guy who kind of conceptualized it. The same thing he did with Star Wars for the most part. But George Lucas has more of an emphasis in Star Wars, which is why I like Indiana Jones more. So if we're talking like George Lucas influenced franchise, I like Indiana Jones a little more. But I'm not. So I have to say, like, I've been thinking about Star Wars ever since I watched Rise of Skywalker with John. I've been thinking about like where I would place my personal list, and when I really think about it, though, I only really like 2 movies. Like, everything else is like either just awful and bad, or just like I don't really care kind of thing. So for me, my list is like something really just kind of boring and uninteresting. So I have to emphasize that. And I have to, again, emphasize, I don't really care all that much. I do like Star Wars. I don't care all that much, like, what happens to it now. Because, you know, who cares? It's just, It's not really my thing. So, my list goes A New Hope, because I think that movie, in terms of the way it's just, story it's told, the way it's edited, the way it's made, pretty goddamn close to, like, storytelling perfection.
Perfect movie, yeah.
Yeah, really, it is. It's a really well-made movie on a visual level, on a sound level. It's pretty much sci-fi perfection, really. And then Empire Strikes Back, obviously one of like the best sequels ever made. It's really good. It takes the characters in a really unique direction. Has one of the greatest twists in all of cinematic history. It's, you know, it's dang good, right? Like, it's a really, really good sequel. I guess if I had to pick an option 3, it would probably be Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It has a lot of crazy, ridiculous flaws. But let's be honest, the Luke stuff is so good that it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then if I had to pick a number 4, right? Right? That's a 4?
Yeah.
I would say The Force Awakens. Now, I don't like The Force Awakens very much. I do like it, but I also kind of hate it because it's pretty much A New Hope, just retold. And that's the thing. I love that movie, but I also hate that movie because it's just my favorite Star Wars movie, just with new people and slightly, I emphasize this, slightly different places. And I don't know how I feel about that. I still don't know how I feel about that because on one hand I'm like, well, it's to kind of pay tribute to the old movie. It's to kind of get the new characters up and going, and
it's an homage, homie.
But to homage yourself, like,
yeah,
but to such an absurd degree. Like I feel like it's way too, like, we're talking, they lifted story beats. Like they took the story of A New Hope and were just like, yo, the Force has awakened, and I'm like, I don't really think so. So I'm 50-50 on that. On one hand, I love it because it introduced the characters modestly well. It made me ask interesting questions like, who the frick is Rey? What's going on with Finn? Who's this Kylo Ren guy? Yo, why is Snoke a giant? Oh, he's not a giant. Okay, well, who's Snoke? What is he so cool about? You know, it made me ask interesting questions, and I was like, okay, I'm excited for the next movie in the lineup. Folks, everything under Force Awakens, like every other Star Wars movie, to me is just like, in terms of like the canon films, like not counting Solo or Rogue One or other spin-offs, it's all just stupid to me. I don't care.
Damn.
It's just like they're all of them are like equally bad to me.
Damn.
Like we're talking prequels, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, all of them, they're all just dumb.
Damn.
But to talk about Rise of Skywalker a little bit, I feel like the movie, to me, and I know this might sound really harsh, but to me it's a joke. Like, it's too silly. It's really, like, I don't know, to me it's too silly to even for me to be like, this isn't even, I'm not taking you seriously.
But Babu Frick.
I don't care about Babu Freak.
Babu Freak is cool.
He is adorable. I'm not even saying he's not. I'm just saying who cares? Let me. I just think like every scene with Palpatine, I was trying my best not to either laugh or get confused, and I love him for that.
But he's so good.
He's so good. He's so funny. I love Palpatine. Palpatine is like my second favorite character in the Star Wars universe. My first being Yoda. I love how goofy and like powerful Yoda is, you know? And I love how like absolutely corrupt and evil Palpatine is. He just loves being evil, and I love that about him, you know? And but like the whole movie to me is just like, it's just a joke at every single turn. Like when Kylo Ren's trying to explain to Rey about her heritage, he's all like, well, your parents were nobody, but they weren't. Like, what the heck?
God, yeah,
that was dumb.
No, but like they pretended to be nobody, thus they were nobody.
That doesn't make it. That's stupid. Why not just like, here's most of my thing. I have to stress, I honestly don't think that this trilogy was built on any really strong foundation, because these movies were. That's my biggest issue. Like, I can't like them because they're not well thought out. They're just like, well, this director did this, so now I have to do this, and it's like, oh, well, great job. You made it worse. Like, you know, like I don't know. I don't want to talk about Last Jedi because that's not what we're talking about. But Rise of Skywalker for me is just like, it's just a joke. It's a big joke. Like, oh, you're related to Palpatine. Well, how am I related to Palpatine? Had kids? No, I mean,
he had kids, man.
That's gross. Someone actually like.
It was probably before, you know.
I don't really want to know when it was. Just the mere idea that someone was all like,
a tube baby. Maybe it's a tube baby. You don't know.
I don't want to know either. Like, I don't care.
Why didn't one of a tube?
The fact that Rise of Skywalker makes me think of that, like, makes me even like visualize that. It's
yeah,
just like,
think about it. Do it.
Do it now. I'm gonna do it. But it's just like, I don't know, man. Rise of Skywalker to me was just one big joke. It's just like they're trying to like save it, and it's like you really can't. Like it's a little too late.
Yeah.
Like the Raylo stuff, that was dumb. Why did Ray die? Who
terrible.
cares?
That was
like,
terrible.
The
I mean, I think Kylo had to die, to be honest.
The Force healing stuff, like that was kind of silly. I just was like,
What?
yeah, I thought
that made sense. That made sense.
Okay, why was just okay? But like, couldn't they have used that like a bajillion times in the OG trilogy, right?
Yeah, you
well,
can
but
say
they
that
didn't know
about
about
any power that's you can say that about any power that's introduced.
Well, yeah. It's
you
a
could
sequel.
ask.
You can't. But that's the thing, right? Like, why?
Yeah,
why not?
Say that about,
why not?
whenever
No,
a new thing is introduced, you can always bring it back and do that.
But why? But my thing is, why? Why try that? Like, why would you do something that oversteps what could essentially be a boundary, right? Like, why do that? Because then it makes the originals look like, well, if they can do that, why didn't they just do that? And it's like, because that George Lucas back in 1980 or back in 19 whenever wasn't thinking that. But in this new franchise, they're like, oh, we introduced something new, but they could have done it the whole time. It's like, but could they? Did Ray come up with it?
Is your argument not to do anything new?
No, do something new, but don't change an already existing power into something that like Force healing.
Is that changing anything?
Yeah, that changes.
I feel like that's just introducing a new thing. That's not changing anything.
But the old characters couldn't do that. Like, do you see what I mean? Like you have a sequel, right? And it's like, well, I could always do this. And it's like, well, but they didn't do that in the past. Like Luke could have healed his father, right? Maybe not to some extent, but like he could have at least a little, right? At least made him stay alive for a little bit. And that's my thing, right? Like you introduce something that just changed the rules of Star Wars. That's not a good thing. Like you can change the characters, don't change the rules. And that's my thing. Is like they changed the rules of Star Wars. It's like Palpatine got blown up in a freaking. Well, he's still alive. You know, like I made the joke like Palpatine's just Frieza. You know, like he's literally just Frieza. He fell into a pit, got all shocked up, right? Just like Goku with the Kamehameha. Then the Death Star explodes. Palpatine somewhere is floating in space, and then his papa comes, or his cult of bad guys in this case, picks him up and are like, oh shoot, we got to put him back together. Oh god, how are we going to do this?
I don't hear the problem here. I'm just hearing good things.
What I'm saying is that freaking Star Wars is Dragon Ball. You know?
Yeah.
Star Wars is Dragon Ball Z.
It's anime as hell. It's anime as hell.
It really is. I was like,
yo, this is anime as hell. I freaking love it.
I've actually heard that J.J. Abrams has been watching a lot of anime, and I'm like, yo, no freaking way. That's what I thought too. But great. Again, to me, just Rise of Skywalker is just one big joke where it's like, hey, here's Rose. Forget Rose. Who cares? Oh, here's this. You know, it's just one big joke to me. It's why do they? I don't know. It's just dumb. You know, I can't get behind it whatsoever. I don't hate it. I just don't really care. Like, you know. Yeah, so
this trilogy was very. One second. I'm thinking of. It was a lot of things. It was obviously a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to. It was very reactionary to everything,
which is a problem to me.
Because Force Awakens obviously is reactionary to the prequels because nobody liked them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, we had to play it safe, and you know that makes sense why they did that. But then people said it was too safe, so they made The Last Jedi, which was not safe at all, and people hated that. And they went, well, okay, well, we gotta bring back JJ now, and then we gotta, and JJ was like, this movie is like 2.5, like 3 movies in one to clean up Last Jedi, but also bring back things from Force Awakens or reintroduce things from Force Awakens, and to finish off the new trilogy. This is the most reactionary of them all, and it shows, like, it obviously shows, like, everything. Like I said, this movie starts the crawl going, yo, Palpatine's alive, he's ready to go. Mm-hmm. Our people are ready to go fight him. It's like, what? Like, this whole movie is super fast-paced, but especially the first, like, 20-30 minutes, it's like, boom, 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 boom. We gotta establish what we're doing, where we're going, what's the motivation, where this character's going. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
Whoo! And it's
See, the first 20, 30 minutes aren't the problem. It's just like it's the whole thing to me. It's honestly.
no,
I know that sounds bad.
No, the whole movie is the problem, but for me, it was. I noticed like, especially the first 20 and 30 minutes, the pacing is like out of control.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie is like that, but it's for me. I noticed it the most in those first the first 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wow. Whew.
Yeah, and I mean to. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like like I said, a lot of the things that like, I mean, everybody's been saying it about Rise of Skywalker. I think. Well, people who are super critical, whether they like it or not, I think have said all the same things like we're saying right now about how this whole trilogy was a mess, like why this specific movie's a mess, why the thing like what's dumb in it, why is it dumb, and like I said, a lot of the things I like. I thought about it like Force Awakens. I think for most Force Awakens, I'm like I think it's just most people being nitpicky. Like I think overall, it's a solid movie for me. It's fine. Like it's except for it being safe and like copying a lot of New Hope. I think it's perfectly fine. It's a solid movie. Last Jedi.
I can.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like a lot of other people like who are more like just hating it just because they want to hate it. And that's not everybody. It's just some. And Last Jedi for me, it's like half and half. Like half, I will defend and say no. Like I think this makes sense and I like this. While the other half, I'm like, I understand why people don't like this thing, but it doesn't bother me. I still like. It's a problem, but it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really take away my enjoyment, and that's why I still like Last Jedi is a movie I really like, but I recognize the faults in it, but it doesn't bother me as much as others.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it's the complete other side of Force Awakens, where I like the movie, but every criticism that will be pointed to it, I really can't defend it. I really can't defend it. Like it's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is a mess, but it was a fun mess that I enjoyed watching. Again, I saw it 3 times, and I was like, it got me emotionally at certain parts, and like I think those parts I like, but again, it is a mess.
It did?
This movie's a mess. Yeah.
Where? Out of curiosity, I'm just curious, like which parts specifically.
Let me think. Let me fast forward through this movie. I liked, like.
Sorry.
Huh?
No, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I'm sorry. I'm thinking of when Chewie dies.
Oh my god, that was.
I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, that part got me," and I was like, "No, really."
No, that part didn't get me. I knew he wasn't dead. I already knew. He wasn't dead.
Oh God, what if?
No, I knew Chewie wasn't dead, and I knew 3CPO was gonna get his memory back. I honestly really like, but okay, it's really stupid. Like I said, it's really stupid.
Okay.
But I really like the final fight, the final conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But the part that hit me was like, it was like it's super cheesy, and I saw it coming a mile away. But it's when everybody thinks it's done, but then Poe, flies up over the ship, and he sees all the people coming to help. Mm-hmm. That really hit me. I was like, oh, that's super cheesy and again super anime, but I love it.
The music during that part's fantastic. Where it plays like the main Star Wars theme. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Like that part hits me. Again, really dumb, but I like when Rey is defeated, but like for some reason this shot really got me. Like when she's looking up, right, and Palpatine's doing the lightning, and then like she looks past the lightning and she just sees like space. She just sees the stars and everything. For some reason, I don't even know why. I think I just like the imagery of it. Especially because, like, Star Wars starts...
I'll agree with that.
Every movie... Well, I don't know. From what I remember, every movie, like, starts off just seeing the stars, and then you pan down to the action. Yeah. I like that at the end it comes down to what we see in the beginning of every Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Just seeing the stars and the expanse.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, that just really hit me on, like, a filmmaking level. I thought that was cool. I won't say hit me. I thought it was cool and dumb, but when Rey does the 2 lightsabers, that was fun. Again, not really a hit me moment, but I thought it was fun. And then the other, I actually really liked the Kylo Ren and Han Solo moment. I really liked that moment. I thought that one actually made me tear up a little bit, and I liked the parallel between the Force Awakens moment about how it's like I need help to do this one thing, and then he kills. And I don't know if that's what they're going for, but I like the idea. Again, this just maybe me just making an excuse for why I like it, or another reason why I like it.
Yeah,
I like that Kylo Ren needed help to do an evil thing.
Yeah,
but when he's like, I need help to do this, Han Solo's like, no, you didn't. Like, to do something good, he always had the power in him to do it. And again, that's really dumb, and it's not even executed in the best way. But I really love that idea, and just the scene overall. I like between Han Solo and Kylo Ren. I just like it.
Yeah,
it was like clearly supposed to be Leia and Kylo Ren, but they couldn't.
Yeah,
and so, but I think what they had to work with for that scene, I think they made it work.
Yeah,
not 100%, but I think they made it work, and I liked it. So
yeah,
those three moments specifically.
The truth of the matter for me is that, like,
and when Babu Freak shows up, you're like, hey, like, yeah, Babu.
That got
alive.
You emotionally. I started crying.
It did. I was like, oh, Babu's dead. When that planet died, my first thought was, oh, Babu's dead. But I was like, oh, Babu's alive. Heck yeah, Babu.
Live on, brother. Live on.
Yeah.
My thing with the new trilogy, or most of the new trilogy, is like, I personally, like, when someone, like, when you say, like, I love The Last Jedi, I honestly have to sit here and be like, sir, I don't understand why, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, you're wrong. Because it doesn't really matter. Like, so, like,
no, it really doesn't.
That's the thing. It's like, if you like Rise of Skywalker, if you like The Last Jedi, if you like those movies, even if you love them, because I've heard some people say, like, yo, Last Jedi, my favorite Star Wars movie. I'm like, really? Wow. Okay. And that's just me. I'm not going to sit here and argue because, number one, again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I don't really, like, care that much about it. And, like, I'm all for, like, a little bit of a debate about it, but, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong, because I feel like that kind of talk is completely unhelpful to anything, really. So, personally, for me, I think my most hated movie might actually be The Last Jedi, personally. And the reason, and then, now, to be fair, it's not the movie's fault. It's more, well, kind of it is the movie's fault, but, like, it was mostly because The Force Awakens made me ask interesting questions, and then
they took him up. Well,
and then the Last Jedi was all like,
you had questions?
Yeah, you had questions. We got answers. The answer's no. And I'm like,
some answers.
I got like.
Well, we got a fake answer. I guess now it's a fake answer.
That's what I mean, and it's like, but then for some things we didn't get any answers, and it's just like, oh, well, that was why that. Oh.
I'm just like wondering, like, what?
Well, like for what? Oh, just like in general.
No, like, what questions didn't we get answers to?
Snoke. Who's Snoke?
Snoke was Palpatine.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I mean, but, like, really? But see, that's the thing. Last Jedi should have answered that, and then Last Jedi was just like, no, let's just kill him. Palpatine's got like 3 more.
Isn't he just a dude in Last Jedi?
No, but, like, he's important, right? Isn't he the one who trained freaking Kylo Ren? Right?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I've always.
No, but see, like, no.
I feel like huh?
No, so go ahead.
No, I say no. For me, always felt like every Star Wars villain except for Darth Vader was always super disposable.
Even Palpatine, though.
Yeah, you don't know anything about Palpatine.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. He's supposed to be.
For 10 minutes and then he dies.
Okay, so for me, let me kind of summarize what I feel about Palpatine and why I kind of like him. Is that, like, in the originals, he's kind of like the Maleficent, right? Or Maleficent, Wicked Witch of the West, right? He's the classical style villain. They're not supposed to be redeemable. They're not supposed to be, like, understood. They're not supposed to be, like, liked or relatable or anything like that. They are evil incarnate, essentially, right? Like, we don't know anything about the Wicked Witch of the West. She's just straight up evil. All we know is that she has some sisters and she don't like them, right? Maleficent, same thing. All we know is she's just some evil, crazy witch, right? Palpatine's the same thing. We don't know anything about him. He's just an evil guy, right? That's fine. But Snoke, I didn't even want Snoke to be, like, relatable. I just wanted to know, where the heck did this guy come from after Palpatine? Is he, like, who? I just wanted to know who he is. That's it. Like, where was he when?
But, like, did we know who Palpatine was in Return?
No, but see, that's the thing. I don't need to now because he's dead, And so I thought, well, where Snoke fit into this? That's all. Because
But
it's a
Snoke
sequel.
died. But Snoke died.
No. But where did he come from, though? Like, he was the guy who's like... I thought he was the big bad of the franchise. Because all I'm asking for is that, like, see, when I say Palpatine we didn't know. We didn't need to know because he was just big evil bad guy. Snoke is a sequel to Palpatine. It's because they already did that.
He's not the final evil bad guy?
Yeah, because, like, I would like to know where this guy was when Palpatine fell down the well. You know? Like, where was he? Who was he? Did he get trained by Palpatine? Like, all I wanted was, like, oh, I've been trained by Lord Palpatine. I would have been like, okay, cool. He's your secret apprentice. But last night I just said, oh, no, he's nobody. He's just in half now. And I'm like, oh, that's it? Like, oh. And I just kind of was like, that's, you know, and especially with Rian Johnson's, like, teasing of, like, oh, your Snoke theory sucks. It's not that guy. Oh, it's not him. Oh, it's not him. It's nobody. How do you like that? How do you like that, you freaking punks? And it's like, oh, thanks, Ryan. And then, you know, obviously,
I just never cared where Snoke came from, personally.
I
know why people like wanted to know stuff.
Because, well, that's the thing. Again, The Force Awakens sets him up as like, oh, I'm so evil and impending, and I'm big and scary. And then in the next one, he's just like, oh, Kylo, you got me. You never know who I am. It's just, I don't know. Like, to me, I was like, oh, well, that was underwhelming. You know, like, we could have done something kind of interesting. You know, Secret Apprentice or, you know, distant cousin. I don't care. Like, it could have been something stupid, like I'm Palpatine's cousin twice removed. You know,
I guess because that was always my feeling for Palpatine when I watched. I was like, oh, like this, like introduced in the Empire. Like, oh, this guy looks cool, and then he does some cool stuff, but then.
See, I would argue
Darth Vader just kind of just throws him off, and that was it. I was like,
oh yeah, but see, like, and see that's
he shot some lightning at Luke and did nothing.
Well, he tried to turn Luke. You know what I mean? And Snoke does the same thing. Again, I'm not trying to say Snoke, like, I don't want to sound like, you know, Snoke sucks because he's Palpatine 2.0. He sucks because they didn't do anything with him. Like, he sucks because, like, they literally gave him nothing to make him distinct. Like, Snoke will go down as the most inconsequential anything in Star Wars. And it's like,
wow. I argue Count Dooku would be most.
Count Dooku, at the very least, had something to do with Anakin's turn, right? Like, he wasn't. He was.
Oh.
Yeah, he freaking killed him. Like,
you say the same thing about Snoke, that Kylo killed Snoke and he became the leader.
That didn't do anything. Okay, but think about it. He didn't stay that way for very long, did he? At the end of Rise of Skywalker, he turns into a good guy. Who cares anymore? He kills the bad guy to say, I'm the new bad guy. And Rey's like, no, don't be bad,
I think it's to show, like, yo, like, this guy has fallen, but we gotta redeem him, you know?
Yeah, but if isn't... But it's just like, wow, way to go. You made him worse, and then you made him better, just like that, because he's talked to Space Daddy?
Yeah, dude.
That's it. That's all.
I actually really like Kylo Ren's story.
I hate Kylo Ren's story. It's so dumb. It's so backwards. It's like, oh, I'm bad, but no, I'm conflicted, but no, I want to be bad, but no, I want to be good now. Okay, I'm good now. Can I have a lightsaber now? It's like, yeah, here you go. And it's like, oh.
But doesn't Darth Vader do the same thing?
Darth Vader's never conflicted until the very end when his son is getting killed in front of him. His son's getting freaking ruined. He's like, oh god, not my kid.
I always like that about Kylo, though. Like, it's kind of like the opposite of Darth Vader, that he is conflicted to be evil the entire time.
See, I don't mind that, but I feel like they executed it so poorly. I just feel like it's done so terribly, you know? Where it's like they keep teasing that, oh, he's gonna be bad, and then, like, you know, in interviews they're like, oh, he's not gonna be Darth Vader 2.0, except he's Darth Vader 2.0. And it's like, oh.
Well, that's the point of Force Awakens. And then Last Jedi critiques that character for being Darth Vader 2.0.
And then they turn him into 2.0 at the very end of Rise of Skywalker. Where he's all like, oh no, Rey! I guess I like you now.
I guess.
Like, that's my thing. It's like, Kylo could have been... Every single new character, except Babu Freak, every single new character could have been done better.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
And that's my thing, is like, my thing with this trilogy that I have a personal criticism with is there's no excuse. You guys have 3 bad Star Wars movies that you can look at and say, don't do this. And you have 2 perfect Star Wars movies and 1 modestly good Star Wars movie that you can look to and say, okay, here's what we got to do, and come up with a game plan. But no, they just were like, well, let's copy the first one. Let's completely do something wacko for the second one, and for the third one, let's just I don't know, let's just end this. Let's just go home. I want to go home see my wife and kids.
Oh, everybody wanted to go home.
And see, that's my thing. Is like you guys, there should be no excuse to make a bad Star Wars movie. Like there's no excuse. I know it's hard to make movies. I'm not saying it's easy, but like when you have 3 bad and 3 good, and you're making a brand new trilogy, you have the bad, you have the good. There should be no excuse why these movies are so sloppy. There shouldn't be. Like that to me is like that's just science. Like that's just mathematics. It's
That's
like
science.
Like you got.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And that's my thing though. It's like that to me is why I
Yes,
can't get behind.
you're not wrong.
And this is the thing, right? Like I feel like I just wish honestly, I'm straight up saying I wish they would have done more things different. Like I wish they would have taken the creativity of The Last Jedi and kind of span that in the other 3, Like how about instead of us just losing to some random empire that just showed up and turned a planet into a Death Star, how about we start with like, there's unrest in this galactic Senate, right? And then there's a bad guy in the Senate, and then they eventually.
I'm getting Crinkle vibes right now.
But that's what I mean. But like the prequel stories, yeah, they suck, but it's because they were executed so awfully. Like, what if we did a better version of those in like a unique way?
Don't even get me started. I would love to get a remake of all the prequels.
No, I'm not even saying a remake. I'm just saying like what. Well, my question is, we won in Return of the Jedi, right? We won the war. We blew up the Death Star. We did some good stuff. How are we losing again? Where did these guys come from?
I don't know.
That's not okay.
Did they lose? I don't know. They blew up one Death Star.
They blew up the Death Star and the biggest bad guy on the face of the planet. We blew him up.
Does that mean there are no other generals and admirals in the Empire?
And but Leia and her galactic cronies didn't do anything about that?
Empire's too big.
That's bullcrap.
The Empire's too big.
I just see that's the only question. See, that's my thing. Is like the foundation for these films is built on the same thing. And that's just the thing. It's like,
see, I want a remake of the prequels because
I want HD.
Yes. Fix up those.
Yeah, I want Jar Jar in HD.
That's all you need to do. Just fix up Jar Jar, please.
Yeah.
The prequels have the potential in terms of story,
yes.
The concept to be the strong. Maybe not the strongest, but for argument's sake, I'm gonna say the strongest part of Star Wars. See how we see the Jedi in its prime. We see all that in its prime. We see Anakin. How this guy turned into Darth Vader. His journey into darkness. Mm-hmm. We see how the Jedi were, like, in a way, corrupt. How they lost their way. How they were trying to take the Force for themselves. Like, it's good. Mm-hmm. Like, they're good guys. Mm-hmm. But they're claiming that that's the only way to do the Force or to live. Mm-hmm. And how that corrupted them. How, like, they were monks for some reason. You could explore that. Mm-hmm. How that led to their downfall. How Palpatine took advantage of all that. And turned Anakin. Focus on the brotherhood between Anakin and Obi-Wan to really make us feel when that falls apart. A bunch of other things like that. That, as a concept, is so interesting. Yes. It's so big. It's so big and impressive, and I want to see it. Those ideas were there, but I feel like that's also like people looking in retrospect and putting that idea in there. Like, some of it is there.
Yeah. But that
execution is there's no good execution of any of it. I want to see those concepts done well. I don't even need blockbuster remakes. I just do Clone Wars and just do that. Give us an animated show where we see the prequels done differently and better. And Blake is laughing.
No, I'm not laughing. No, John.
Yes, what are you going to say?
Everything you just said
can apply to the
new trilogy.
It's
exactly like as you were talking. I'm like, dude, this is bro. That's me. Like, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
No, I understand. I perfectly understand.
Like, the idea of after Luke sounds like, that's why I was excited for Force Awakens. I wasn't crazy excited because, again, not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I was like, okay, cool, let's see what happens after. Oh, the same thing? Okay, well, what happens after? Oh no. Like, that's the thing, is like, I don't understand why you couldn't make the even small changes. Like, why does Rey begin on a desert planet? Like, couldn't it have been like a
New Hope?
Why? Just do snow. Just make it interesting.
Because we love desert planets. Every Star Wars first episode starts with a desert planet.
But I hate sand. It gets everywhere. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's coarse and it's rough.
But see, like, that's my thing. Like, there's a point where it stops being poetry and it starts just being redundant, and you can't come up with anything better.
That's Star Wars.
But see, that's my thing. Like, and what you said about people reading into it and be like, no, it's poetry. I'm like, but it's the same thing. It's not really poetry if it's already been done. That's like me taking a line out of Shakespeare. It's like, well, it's a homage to Shakespeare. It's like, no, you just took Shakespeare. You know? It's, you know what I mean? Like, I can take the line and creatively spin that, and then it's a homage. Because it's something a little bit more, like, creative. It's something with my input. It's a little bit of Shakespeare, a little bit of me. But in this case, for me, it's like, no, you guys just read the scripts to the movies, and we're just like, yeah, that one right there. Put that there. Desert Planet, you got it. Lonely Girl, yep, you got it. Like, it's like...
Yeah, baby.
And it's like, that's the thing. Like, Rey, it's not even female protagonist. I like Rey as, number one, from a design standpoint. I like Daisy Ridley. I like that she's kind of like this scavenger, kind of lost person. Doesn't know what the heck is going on in her life. I kind of like that. That's cool. But, like, what she eventually becomes is just, it's...
She becomes a Skywalker.
I don't even know what to say to that. It's like, yeah, she does. I think, right? Poetry. Is that how that works?
Poetry. You get to choose where you come from, Blake.
Do you?
Yes.
There's like a lot of legal hoops to jump through.
You get to choose where you come from, who you are.
So who's replacing Leia as like princess? Is there queens and princesses? Are there presidents? Is there anybody in the Galactic Senate? Like, it's really
interesting if you think about it, because she was really only the princess of one planet, and we don't even know how important that planet was
until it got blown up. Well, actually, we didn't know. We never knew.
But why does everybody call her princess? Because you would think there's a bunch of other princesses out in the universe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So
why is she so important?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, it's like, you know, that stuff is like minor, and what I'm bringing up for the new trilogy is minor, I would say. But it's like, to me, again, it's just like, why didn't you just answer it? Let's just do it, you know? Do something unique and stand out a little more.
Read the supplemental material, man. God.
That's what bothers me, too. Is like, people are like when these questions were being brought up in Force Awakens, everyone was like, well, it's in the book. Okay, I guess I'll just take some time out of my day, read the Force Awakens novel adaptation while I watch the Force Awakens. No, I'm not going to sit there, read a book, and then watch the movie and be like, got it. That makes so much more sense now. Like, no! Screw you. I don't have to read the Marvel supplementary comics to understand Iron Man 2. I can, if I wanted to, but I don't have to.
I actually would have preferred some supplemental materials to understand Iron Man 2. That would have been nice.
They exist.
Yeah, I know. I'll do it.
Read the comics. But that's the thing, right? It's like, the only franchise I can think of that did something similar is like Injustice 1. Where it's like, oh shoot, all this bad stuff happened? What the heck?
Yeah, why does Injustice get a pass?
Injustice doesn't get a pass.
Oh.
I don't like how it does that in Injustice 1. Injustice 2 is way more interesting.
That story, the comic story in the...
Yeah, but then Injustice 1 has pretty poor storytelling, I would say. It's actually got a pretty kind of weak story mode in general, I would say. Yeah.
No.
Bro, have you gone back?
No. I'm being super sarcastic.
Yeah, no, I know. But like,
it's a very generic plot.
Injustice 2, I think, takes a step further and does something really unique, where it's like, we're only in this world, these things have happened, but we're going to take these interesting new characters and tie them in really well. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know? That's my thing, is that they took what failed in Injustice 1 and made it work in 2. Star Wars did not do that. Star Wars just said, yo, you nerd, go read a book. And it's like,
nerd.
yeah, exactly. And it's like,
for nerds, go read them.
and see that's my only real complaint with these new. That's my biggest complaint with the new trilogy is just like you guys, you settled for the lowest bar ever, and you could have done something so much bigger. Force Awakens could have probably, and I mean this, sorry, not Force Awakens, sorry. Last Jedi? No. Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker, in my honest opinion, if this trilogy was more structured, if it was more well thought out, if it was just better, it could have completely dominated the box office, and I think truly, truly outperformed even Avengers Endgame. I really think that. I think Lucasfilm, Disney, I feel like those guys really cheated themselves out of a lot of profits. Now, I don't think they're going to be like crying about, oh no, but I feel like they could have made more if they just tried a little more. Because I would have been so much more invested. Right? Like a not Star Wars guy would have been like, yo, Star Wars is hype. I'm saying that. I'm a moron, John. You know this.
What?
You know this about me.
You're
I have some dumb opinions, but if they made me love Star Wars, I feel like, whoa, yo, do I like Star Wars?
That just means you're weird. You're not a moron.
I'm a weird moron. But see, like, I would have done the same thing with you in Street Fighter. Been like, yo, is Star Wars hype? Is Star Wars great? And I would have been like, yo, Star Wars is great.
I don't
That's
know
the
that
thing.
one, homie.
No, but see that.
All I'm saying is Blake. All I'm saying is, why didn't Chewbacca and Maz Kanata kiss at the end of the movie? That's all I wanted.
I know. I mean,
you set up that she likes that Wookiee in Force Awakens, and she doesn't get some action? Come on, JJ. What are you doing?
Yo, man, poor Chewbacca. Everybody's dead.
Wait, Lando's not dead.
Yeah, but he's gonna find out that that black lady's his daughter.
Well, how about we find out? Why don't we find out? Well, why don't we find out?
I think
Send Leia my love.
Yes.
Send Leia my love. I'm Billy D.
But honestly, again, like I said, if you like these movies, I think that's great. I'm glad you like them.
I do like these movies. I do like these
Then,
movies.
Jonathan, I'm so happy you like them. I am. I really am. It's just, for me, not my thing. No.
Yeah. Just you.
Yeah. So now I am going to go watch Last Crusade. Because that movie's great. And I'm going to eat some dinner.
Well, let's just say, my quick Star Wars ranking. We got Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. We got Episode 1, bottom to top. We got
No. It was top to bottom.
Phantom Menace.
Be honest.
We got Episode 3, Return to Jedi. I'm stupid. Revenge of the Sith. I'm so sorry. Revenge of the Sith. Very similar titles.
It's poetry,
Revenge for
John.
what? Revenge for what? I don't know. What?
Poetry.
I don't know. We got Rogue One. We got we got Return of the Jedi. We got Solo. Next, we got Rise of Skywalker. Next, we got Force Awakens. Next, we got Last Jedi. Next, we got Empire, and then next we got New Hope. Boom. Perfect list. I don't think anyone will contest me on this, and I don't think anyone will have a problem with it. If I gotta be honest, that I put Solo above Return of the Jedi. I don't think anyone will have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with it.
It's very safe. It's a very, very, very safe, I would say. But I stick by it. Yep. That's my definitive Star Wars ranking. Rogue One. It's not a good movie. Sorry, people.
Neither is Solo.
Well, you're wrong, so it's okay.
I'm glad you like that movie, John.
It's a fun movie. It's
Anyways.
a fun-ass movie.
But yeah, so I mean, going forward, I don't know what Star Wars is going to do. I mean, I don't care. It's just like, my hope is that, like, if I have to be straight up, I'm sick of Star Wars. Every time I feel like I talk about Star Wars, I just get sick of it. I don't want to watch a movie. I don't want to see a lightsaber. I don't want to hear a blaster. I'm just gonna go.
Someone who doesn't like Star Wars or who doesn't care for Star Wars, not a Star Wars fan, you've digested a lot of Star Wars.
Like I said, I have so many friends who are like, "Yo, did you see the freaking
know.
Mandalorian? It's like the best show ever made. It's like the Godfather of TV."
No, it's
it's a show.
It's like you're stuck in this eternal hell.
I am, bro. Straight up, that's actually how it is. I'm like,
it's not that you're like, oh, you keep watching and you keep getting disappointed. It's that you keep getting pulled in by other forces.
Yeah, literally. No, but like that's actually how it breaks down. Like I'll go over to my friend's house and they're like, "Yo, let's watch a Star Wars movie. Let's watch a Star Wars movie marathon." I'm like, I mean, I don't, how about Indiana Jones or something like, not Star Wars? And he's like, "No, man, we gotta watch Star Wars. Like, come on, everybody in." Everyone's like, "Yeah, let's watch Star Wars." Like, oh God, no. Okay,
How many times? Answer this.
Yeah.
How many times have you watched Attack of the Clones? How many times?
Let me think. I saw it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe like 5, 6 or so.
Jesus.
Right?
Crazy.
Yes, yeah.
I saw it as a kid. I saw it as an older kid when I realized, oh, wait. Then I saw it in college when I knew it was bad. I was like, yeah, this is terrible. And that was it.
I just stopped, like, I don't know when I realized, like, maybe I don't like Star Wars. I don't know when that happened to me. But I realized at some point. But maybe a little too late. But every single time I go over to that house, they're like, "Yo, let's watch Star Wars. Star Wars is gonna be great." I'm like, "Okay, can we watch A New Hope?" "No, man, we gotta start with the Phantom Menace. It's the first one." I'm like, "Oh God, no! Don't do that!
How can you always start like that? I can see every other time starting like that, but how can you always go, "Yo, it's a good idea to watch the most boring Star Wars movie first"?
And nobody believes me because they think that movie's great, right? So they'll watch it.
Oh, right. You're people that like that movie.
No, because my people.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah.
It makes more sense, but it's harder to wrap my head around.
No, they like that movie, and then every single time we finish that movie,
it's so boring.
No, that's what I mean. And then they're like, "Man, why am I tired?" I'm like, "Maybe it's because you're watching the most boring freaking movie on planet Earth." Like literally, they're like, we'll finish the second one. We'll get like maybe a few minutes into the third one, be like, "Man, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go home." And I'm like, "Freaking idiots." You should have known better than to start with the two most boring ones on the face of the planet. Why? Just start with 4. It's faster. It's better. It's everything you want. Stop watching these. Stop it. But they never do.
It happens in episode 1.
No, and then I'll leave, and then the next time we hang out, they'll be like, "You guys want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "Oh God, oh no, please, let's watch anything else. Let's watch anything else. Let me show you Spider-Verse. It's a great movie." Put it on. They didn't like it. They got bored.
Not seen Spider-Verse?
Yep, watched it. They put it on. They're like,
I hate your friends.
I hate my friends too. I
don't know if this is the first time I've ever said it, but now I actually hate them.
Mm-hmm.
I showed my friends Spider-Verse. Hey, okay, it took a long time. It took multiple tries for me to show my friends Spider-Verse, but I got them on that couch. And they all loved it. And I was like, thank God. Like, I showed my friends a quality movie like Spider-Verse, and they loved it. Thank God. Your friends, I guess.
My friends were like, they started watching it, and they were like, "That's not Peter Parker." I'm like, damn it. Yeah, no doubt. Really?
I felt really happy.
Oh, maybe we should watch Sherlock Holmes. That's a movie about you. Like, freaking, it was like, dude.
I felt really happy because when I was showing my friends, and my friend Mila, who cares the least about superheroes, like she's like, "Oh, no, that's dumb." She's like, "Oh no, I just don't watch those."
That's
I'm
fine.
Like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. She was there, and I was like, well, she's not that I cared the least that she's here, but like I expect a certain reaction. I should be like, okay, whatever. And I was like, that's okay.
Yes.
But when Spider-Gwen showed up and she does like her backstory and she's like, "I am the one and only Spider-Woman," at that point she was like sitting, leaning in her chair, and she was like, "Yeah, girl," like, "Yeah, it's cool." I was like,
That's great.
like genuinely, like, "Yeah, girl." I was like, oh damn, like that's cool. Like I like that.
Because
Like
Spider Girl's awesome, or Spider Woman,
yeah,
I guess she's called.
like that you were able to have that character. Like because I mean,
Yeah.
for us, that's less impactful because
I mean,
we're guys. But for her, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Huh?
I mean, not really, but okay.
Well, for representation, yeah.
Oh well, I mean, like in terms of like me, I like being able to immediately relate based on gender. Like, I guess not, but I still like the character. I was like, yo, Spider Girl.
No, I'm not saying relating to the character.
Oh, representation
like,
wise, yeah, that's cool.
Don't be like, oh, like heck yeah, there's a female superhero in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's dope.
Agreed. My friends are like I put it on, and maybe like halfway through, they were like, yeah, this is okay, and then they left, and I was like, you guys suck. I hate you all so much.
But it's so good.
And then they're like, this is the same group of guys or group of friends I have where it's like I go over, and I told you this, like I'll bring my Switch because I'm like, yo, let's play some party games, and they're like, yo, let's play Clue, and I'm like, oh god, like I like Clue. I'm not even no hate on Clue. Clue is fun, but it's like, man, these people suck. Like, let's play something new, maybe. It's
no,
like
never the new. You will watch Phantom Menace until you die.
I probably will turn into the freaking Phantom Menace at this point. Good lord.
But Blake, not bad kid. Not bad kid. That made me tear up, man.
Not bad kid. What's that from?
Not bad kid. Not bad kid. That made me tear up, dude. That made me tear up.
Oh, Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, where is that in Star Wars?
Made me tear up.
Yeah, that was great.
It's powerful.
Not bad, kid.
It's powerful.
That movie's great, man. That again, favorite superhero movie of all time. It's perfect, really.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've been here a while.
So I mean that's my thing. Well, yeah, we've been here a long time. This is a long podcast, but I mean, final thoughts for me for.
You only get one of these every 10 years, man.
But I mean, final thoughts for Star Wars. Again, not the biggest fan, so I don't really have a lot of stake in the franchise, and I don't think my opinion really means a whole lot given that. So I'm just gonna say like, it's fine. If you like the new ones, awesome. If you like the old ones, great. If you like the originals, awesome. It's for me, it's just I don't like the new ones. I don't like the old ones. I really only like about 2 of the movies. So they're not movies that I often go back and watch. Again, unlike Indiana Jones or something other like that, or Spider-Verse. They're movies that I can enjoy, I guess, if I try. And I don't really have any, like, if someone says, like, unless it's my freaking friends in episode 1, if it's Jonathan being like, yo, you want to sit down and watch some episode 2? I'd be like, you know what? Let's make fun of episode 2. Let's watch that sand scene. I love that scene. The part where Anakin rides on that hippo.
For a second, I forgot your friends liked the prequels.
Yeah.
I was like, you could do that with your friends. Like, oh, wait. No, you can't.
Yeah, my friends will get mad at me every time I make fun of it. It's like, no, that's great. It makes so much sense because if you look at the books, and I'm like, oh, I'm gone. Good night.
Well, no, because you think about it, he was born on a desert planet, and so he relates the sand to his memory of his slave life.
No,
so that's why he hates sand.
No, see, that's fine, right? But, like, my friends suck because it's like they hit me with stuff that I've never heard of. Like, they're like, well, back in the year of 136, 805, on the planet of SR567, Anakin... No, they're talking about supplementary material, right? So, like, if something happens in the Phantom Menace, right? Something stupid, I'm like, that's funny. They're like, well, it's actually not funny because if you think about it in the supplementary material, I'm like... And then I'm just sitting there like, what am I supposed to tell you?
Did they explain why Jedis can only use force, like, extreme speed in certain moments?
Yeah.
They explained that.
Yeah.
They did? Why?
Somehow. They probably were just like, well, we probably, sometimes the force clouds their mind. Sometimes they only have a limit on how much they can use it. I'm like, okay, well, where's that explained in the movie? It's like, well, it's not in the movie. It's in the book. I'm like, God, I hate this movie. Like, I hate... See, this is why I'm not a Star Wars fan. And this is why sometimes I'm like, I hate Star Wars. Because I'm just like, God dang it, I can't beat you guys. Because all you ever say is like, well, it's because the Force didn't will it. I'm like...
Yeah, dude, the Force made it happen. The Force made it happen.
I'm gonna be a Sith. Like,
for me, with this new trilogy, it is very messy in a lot of places. Yes. But I have fun. Mm-hmm. And that, for Star Wars, that's really all I ask for. That's why Solo is higher, and Rise of Skywalker is higher than Return. Not because they're better movies. I recognize Return is a better movie. But I have more fun watching those movies than I do Return. and that's why I just like to have fun. For certain movies, I just like to have fun. That's all I ask for.
Okay. Good job, buddy. I'm glad for you.
Yep.
I'm happy for you, sir. I'm glad you found some fun out of these new trilogies. I found some fun in making fun of them. I did not find fun in watching them, but I did find fun in making fun of them. I'm glad that you found fun.
Well, I had a lot of fun watching you watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's freaking great.
I like to think I'm pretty fun to watch movies with. I don't know. Yeah. Probably not. But
watch a man lose his mind for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we should watch The Last Jedi.
That's amazing. Oh my god, no, please.
It's salt.
No, I would enjoy it too much. Well, so that's it, people. We talked about the end of an era for the decade and for the greatest franchise of all time. Mm-hmm. As I think we convinced you of talking about it. But yeah, so overall, again, 10 years, pretty good. Ups and downs, like always. I'm sure it is for everybody listening. I'm not sure how many people made it to the end, if I gotta be perfectly honest. However, I think we had fun, and that's what we do this for. We started this because we have fun, and we continue because we have fun. And yeah, I will. Hopefully, we will all continuing having fun with one another. And with that, that's all I have to say. Everybody, thank you so much for listening, and for anyone who's listening and not listening, thank you for watching our content. We really appreciate it, and I want to say thank you. Here's to another 10 years. Goodbye, everybody.
May the force be with
not you. Goodbye. Not goodbye. We'll be back next week.
May the force be with you, you bunch of animals.
I am all of the Jedi and the Sith.
Are you the Senate, though?